observers too for finding all the cool stuff around the maps, right? Like taking their time to focus on just flying around in that free floating to find that information. As there's some information over towards this B side. It's looking to be a quick hit here from Sentinels as they follow on that with that drone. Getting a little crazy here, floating on through. Sean, though, looking for a flank here just outside that smoke, maybe separating him from a kill or a death.
Yeah, you can see Sentinels just using their utility and speed to go ahead and get control of yellow pretty early on. Gimon, though, able to catch dapr, who was playing under tube as kind of that mid lurk. So that is one player off the board for Sentinels. They still haven't really been able to actually fully penetrate that B side either. They're still basically stuck behind the yellow line. Smokes and utility and pistols aplenty holding angles and really holding them off from gaining much more ground. They really need someone to find an entry, and so far there's not been one given to them. Gimon now might pop out a clutch paranoia here in just a second, but in the meantime, Six found that entry that they so needed and allows them to get the spike plant.
Yeah, and it was actually Gimon who ate a paranoia before sending his and is still hanging on to it. So now in an awkward spot as Sentinels have since gotten that spike down. 3 members going to be queued up here right next to the tube. 1 more to follow. So all corralled in this one spot where we see everybody kind of backing off over towards B long once more. Two playing towards yellow, 1 up top, so has the high ground here. It is going to be Sick. He's going to toss out the darts. A beautiful paranoia. There it is, but nothing comes off the back end of it. They're just working together too well here. Sentinels with the pistol.
Yeah, Sick picking up on that jump up from Hwin was the real key. He was trying to get on top of yellow and wreak some havoc to allow some space for his teammates to really claim that retake, but Sick, great kills for him. He got the entry to open the site, and he also gets the key kill on Hwin to lock down the round. And either those are really large penguins, or that's a really small snowman. Either way, I'm a bit creeped out.
One of many.
Why do they need radio backpacks?
Yeah, see, that's exactly what that's where I was headed. I'm not too sure what
they've
got going on there.
Can they communicate through radio? Because that's another scary thing we have to think about.
Those are those IRL streamer backpacks that they've got going on. So they're catching the matches live.
Dude, they would make a killing for sure on Twitch, right? Like, if you could tell me out there in chat, would you watch a live stream of a penguin just living its life? I think you would.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't see how you couldn't. Now, a little lively on this B site is Sentinels. GENG, unfortunately, nowhere to be found as that spike goes down. It's just going to be long range Sinatraa. I mean, there's that X factor that you talked about, Dust.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of one of the great things about putting Sick on Silva is Sinatraa on arrays can just do so much. Like, he can create so many openings. He can just be a real nice entry complement to Shazam. To kind of get things open. And the only thing is like, will Sick take the agent well? I feel like Sick kind of had this weird identity crisis after, you know, Sage kind of fell by the wayside for a while, where he was like experimenting with playing duelists like Phoenix, and he was playing with some Breach, and he even played a bit of Raze himself. And I think he was trying to kind of figure out like where he could be most effective. And I think what they found is that they can just rotate him as they need to get everyone else where they need to be, and he can still frag out. So even if he doesn't master their kit, he can still be a stable fragger, and he can do well enough to allow other people to be where they need to be to have impact. So, I mean, it can't really knock them too much. They've been mostly successful so far.
Yeah, and finding early success here, pushing Hwin away, 6 HP. Now on that jet as well, so any bit of utility could close out that kill. And there it is, the boombot going up top. It's Sinatraa to actually get it with his rifle instead. That boombot gets traded back, and Sinatraa going up top here. He's got the high ground this time around. It's no longer Sick as he hits that right click on the paint shells. Unfortunately, didn't get the job done, but everybody starting to fall now on the side of GENG's. It's going to be quite possibly a flawless round here as the spike gets planted, and it's the first rifle. How many times, Dust, have we seen a save here from GENG on this round?
Yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, again, Sinatraa is just a handful to deal with whenever he's feeling comfortable and he's able to get a little bit of space. He's so confident in the movement with a lot of these fast-paced agents and has the aim to boot. Just creates some big openings there on that A side. Again, Sentinels can be so explosive, and they have so many like high skill ceiling players to really pack that punch behind fast pushes like that. And Sinatraa already up to 4 zombs, quietly getting his 5. 6 had big impact on the pistol round. So hot start here for Sentinels, and GENG once again find themselves on the back foot early on. They only won 1 defensive round in the entire last series, and they're already off to a cold start here defensively on Icebox. No pun intended.
Very, very cold start. And so something that I was, kind of had in my reservoir of brain power as kills now for Sentinels starting to find their way through it is going to be another eco round as shahzam gets spotted. I don't think Mikhail has too much to offer with just that stinger, but I was thinking GENG, it's an X factor to not have any games played here because there's no footage. So
Sure.
Sentinels don't have anything to watch, but it just doesn't seem to matter. Sentinels, instead of worrying about GENG's game, they're just playing their own and it's working.
Yeah, but the sacrifice is you have no official experience on the map in your own right, so you don't really know what truly works in a match setting. Like, you may have some stuff that you think works from scrims, but again, how much have they really been able to practice Icebox since Kusta's just jumped on board, right? Like, they've had limited time to practice. He's only been on the team. I think it got officially announced maybe a couple of weeks ago. I'm not sure how much more maybe he was playing with them privately before it got announced, but either way, it puts you in a tough spot as dapr just lurks his way through under tube here. Gonna find his man as well, and collapse commences, and it is swift as Sentinels knock down a 4th round. But I mean, to be fair, that was expected, right? GENG didn't have much to work with. This is the real test. This is where they get win on the operator. Obviously, there's a couple of different long lanes that you can use that for, whether it's using some of the different kind of like height shifts that you can see in elevation on the A side, or whether you want to pick long B. There's definitely some different options to him. Meanwhile, Sentinel's comfortable just keeping with the 5 rifle setup. shahzam's definitely one of those guys that doesn't need an operator to be effective. And we'll see how it goes. Big round here.
And this is kind of the bonus, but a rifle round for Sentinels, as they've just, it was a flawless followed by only losing 1. So their economy in a great spot. Now we get to see operator here for Hwin, able to find that first one. That's on Sinatraa. So the X factor down. See how much that rock that sick can be here for this squad matters for Sentinels as they find themselves on the back foot. Hunter Shuri available, from the shadows available as well. But everybody holding tight here for GENG. One still playing towards B, one out towards mid just to make sure nothing crazy happens. And A site got 3 members holding it down.
Yeah, big opening pick there for GENG to slow down the set piece of Sentinels, to take out one of the biggest pieces they have to create openings. You know, that's Raze on Sinatraa, such a great entry tool for this team, and it's off the board in a swift eye. Big miss, though, there. It gives shahzam a bit of chance to creep forward. He's still somehow alive, finally taken down by Kusta, but he caused a real problem there for a bit, but luckily GENG snapped back to reality and were able to get things done. They will draw their first round on the board, so nice to get them something going on their first gun round, not allow Sentinels to build up too massive of a lead.
And snap it back to reality. You could see the palms were a bit sweaty. Sean and Hwin both missing a couple of shots on.
I think you've had too much of mom's spaghetti there, buddy. I think you need to get off the sauce.
No, but more importantly, Sean, killless here in this. It definitely, it kind of goes to show that this scoreline, only having 1 round win, it's really hard when one of your top fraggers just has not been able to get it done. Another A hit. I think a lot of times when we see Icebox, we see teams either hit A every single time or hit B every single time, and Sentinels now have taken a liking to both as they jump onto the site. Here goes Sinatraa. There's the X Factor. He's able to find one on Kusta, but Mikhail is there to sit him down. Things are even, and only 1 member pushed up there, but the lockdown going to make things spicy. Yeah,
it forces GENG to basically play for a retake, though they do have 1 player sitting inside the site trying to see if they can be a disruption. It is Sean risking staying on board and getting detained, but it proves fruitful. Big kills for him to give his team a man advantage, and spike has yet to be planted. Zombs is going to have to go ahead and pop the from the shadows to get to B, but this now means that he's all by his lonesome. He has to basically play by himself or hope that somehow shahzam can cut off rotations from behind.
And 2 HP, so there was just no way out. Yeah, already dead. Nobody else over here. Was that a play that they needed to make?
Hard to say, really. It was going to be difficult to win a straight-up 2v3 on A side at that point. The problem is when you do that, you're basically relying on clutching by yourself, because unless shahzam can find a perfect backstab, like, I'll give you a scenario where it could have worked. If Zombs could have got a kill and got towards long B, it would have freed up a way for shahzam to actually rotate, and they could have played out a post-plant 2v2 fairly normally. But until Zombs gets that 1 kill he needs to get that rotation, it's basically all on him. And once he goes down, I mean, obviously shahzam just has to save the operator. So there's ways it could have worked, but obviously that's not the way things panned out for them in that round. But, you know, they still got full economy here coming into this round. They still have a couple of rounds on the board. But Gen G, they're starting to really pop off with the response. Now, I loved how they played that lockdown and just risked it. Sean, big things from him that round.
And somebody that I was speaking about, not really coming online, but then having that ice in his veins, be able to find those kills is that one way. It's a bit of value in the form of damage onto a player, but not a whole lot more. Boombot can be taken down as well. Paint shells go through. Mikhail's able to find Shazam. That's the operator down with the shock darts and another to follow.
Yeah.
Dapr picks it up here. Even across the board, low HP on Sinatraa, though. The X Factor doesn't have a whole lot in his favor.
No, but they're getting a lot of space on this B side already. They have the 4-on-4. There is a flank coming in behind them through attacking spawn, but it's still a ways off. In the meantime, though, it can buy more time if Mikhail keeps that up, as he does get the numbers back on genghsta. They still have 3 ults in play as well. This is going to be really tough on Sentinels. They have a low health player. They're a man down, and the ult economy certainly favors Gen G. And now that Nerdle theft will confirm their locations, allow this flank to further come in from Hwin. They're basically pinched now in long B. They can't really escape. They have to either commit or fall back into Hwin's op, and either way, it's likely going to spell doom.
And I mean, based off that last map, if you had to put your, bets on anybody to win the rifle, the gunfight, I don't know if I'd bet on Gen G, but things are swinging their way. Sean finds another through the box. And it's just never safe to plant there, but it is the defaulted way. Now dapr running out of time, just going to try and find what he can. Instead, it's Genghsta to sit him down. Gen G have now strung together 3 rounds for themselves, and that is the most since the last series. I think 2 was the most before that, so already off to a better start against the Sentinel squad.
Yes, they had 1 defensive round in total in the last series. So getting 3 here.
300%, baby.
Boom. Great. Okay, to be fair, that stat's rough because they only played like 4 defensive rounds in total on bind, so they didn't really, and they didn't ever have an economy, so it kind of makes it a little bit. Diet milk. Okay. Interesting. What percent would that be? Like 1%, 2%, 0%?
There's no answer, just diet.
Fantastic. Look at this push from Gen G through tube. That is a very small, just super claustrophobic place to play. That's why you see attacking teams more often than not just say, I won't bother.
Yeah, and I mean, almost just as impressive, Sentinels just freely go under tube. I think undetected, and as you see, it is undetected by Genghsta at the very least. Sinatraa picks up the first. And I said we either see A or B, but Sentinels doing such a good job here, just keeping them guessing, going back and forth. Sinatraa going to be traded by Mikhail, but it should be traded right back. Shazam is there. The dart will get some info. The spray through the box. A huge kill from Sean once more. He finds a wall bang. Now things are looking pretty even here. 3v3 in the retake.
Yeah, but there is a showstopper available for Gen G to bust up one of the angles. So that does give them a little bit more to work with on this retake, as everyone's hunkered down at long B for Sentinels.
If there's the angle you were talking about. Showstopper doesn't find the kill, but Sean does. He's able to finish it off there, and now up to the last one, dapr. He just has to buy time. He's trying to spray it down. It's low HP. He's gonna fall, but the spike diffuser goes down halfway. We're getting down to the wire, but Gimon closes it out. I am sweating.
Bro, I can't believe it got that close. I need to see that rocket. How in the world does that not get a kill? Like, you can't even blame Sean for that. That rocket was right where it needed to be. And it... that's so wild that it came down to that. Oh my goodness. Ugh. Like you said, a very stressful round, but Gen G do come out on top. They tied the game up 4 apiece. Sentinels with the spike plant still able to afford a full buy here, though a bulldog only available for dapr. Still a very powerful rifle, though. So yeah, they're starting to get shut down.
Yeah, I mean, it's everything been stunted here. They're back and forth, but Gen G picking up 4 in a row. Shazam finds a kill on Sean. That is a big one to find. He was starting to come online, and now might find another. Okay, no, it's a different angle. Win trades it back, though. Operator down. Gen G hang on to theirs, but that lockdown should push everybody away. And Sean's not alive to just hold down on site.
Yeah, this time the site is going to be totally clear, so the plant will surely happen. And so it'll be down to the retake from Gen G, who are going to be able to drone their way in. Hyun behind it with the daggers. The plant's still not completed yet, and Hyun's going to use that to get his way in. Great job there by Hwin, able to take out Sick, but Sentinels are still a man up.
Oh,
not anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
No.
the Jet here. Hwin going huge, picking up a lot of damage traded back though. He picks up another. He's looking for the ace here for the Genji lead. He does not have the angle with the knives. It's Omen v Omen. Zombs trying to take the fight right to GMD. He's gonna do just that, and all of Hwin's efforts are for naught.
Oh man, he was doing so well, and he's really showing you the complications of trying to take operator duels on that A side. There are so many weird angles you can take with all the elevation changes that are floating around on that side that make it tough to like peek an angle or hold an angle with confidence. You have to make a lot of crazy flicks. There's a lot of different like headshot angles that defenders can play, and Hwin able to pick up Shazam because of it and then roll out the ult for quite a few kills. But Zombs, he has been huge so far this map. He's the top fragger on the server. He had a big clutch there, and he keeps Sentinels afloat in that one and gets them the lead back.
In that round, a Genji loss was when Sean died almost immediately, getting picked off. So you keep that Raze alive, and that seems to be the recipe for Genji to keep this momentum moving forward. Now it's looking not necessarily a B hit, but a lot of attention sent this way. That Spike still hovering by A, and now it looks like they might pick it up and try and head over towards this side. GMD gonna try and lock things down here, playing in that close corner. Knives for Shazam, though, might just sit him down. No, instead it's Sick from downtown. 3 members trying to pick that one up, and Sick sneaks it away. Now B-side not opened up, but also there's no commit here.
Yeah, that's always the danger in playing a close angle like that. You're isolated. You don't really have a support system that can bail you out or trade frag you. So if you go down without getting a jump on your opponent, you basically just give them over a free 5v4 and you really gain nothing from it. So it is a tough pill to swallow for Genji. It really opens up the doors for Sentinels, who will now pivot over towards A side. They still have dapr locking down middle to cut off rotations and flanks. And we'll let Shazam lead the charge here with the daggers. Hwin, though, still crushing it here with the operator on this A side. Evens the numbers back up, at least for now.
Ooh, and does it again. Finds another. The paranoia comes through to try and stunt this Opper here, but genghsta trades it back. The multi-kills come through, and who better than Sean to finish it off? This is exactly what we saw in the last series. The back and forth, and Genji, they're not giving up yet.
Genji are doing fantastic, and a lot of it's coming down to Hwin. He's had so much impact in these last couple of rounds with that operator on the A side of the map. Just fantastic picks, and it puts Sentinels on basically all stingers, except for Zombs, who's yet to make any purchase.
Yeah,
actually, they're starting to downgrade
turning
a bit. Yeah, they're starting to downgrade on a couple of their players who are just on pistols. They only actually have a couple of stingers in play here. They drone out long B, but Hwin will shut it down with the operator. At least they know that there's no op on A now. So, I mean, that's kind of one thing that Sentinels gained from that, but a small prize.
And A seems to be probably a better sight, right? When you have those SMGs, you saw a stinger in the hands of Shazam. You're able to fight those close corners. They are going to be running into, again, genghsta and Sean. One still playing out towards mid. Here comes the showstopper, though. Sinatraa trying to find something to open things up. Maybe just launches it. Nope, not into the smoke. Actually getting shot from behind. He doesn't fall just yet, but he gets 0 value out of the ultimate, and Shazam is able to find a kill. This would be a thrifty victory should Sentinels pick it up, but Genji are now on the rotate, and they have to play the retake.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not got a kill, but he got a ton of space. I think that people sometimes underestimate the value you can gain out of a showstopper just by popping it and moving forward with it. Like, it clears so many angles, it scares people backwards, and it gives your team a lot of ground even if you don't connect the frag. But that means that Genji still have full health, and they can start coming with all their forces, and now they're starting to sweep through the site.
Yeah, but these are the close angles that they need. The kills are starting to fall, though. Sentinels down to their last. It is Sick with a stinger in hand. He's able to find the first, needs to find the next, but it's Hwin to shut him down with the operator. Coming on through. Genji grabbed themselves a lead.
Yeah, and that is like the pitfall of not finding a kill at the showstoppers. Now there's more defenders still left standing to go for the actual retake. It may get you ground, and that is a big benefit that people sometimes, I think, undervalue. But obviously, the icing on the cake is finding at least one kill with it to make sure that you have a man advantage rolling in on the post plant, which was not the case. And Genji have been so efficient. I mean, they've won 6 of the last 7 rounds, 3 of which have been retakes. So, yeah, they're really popping off defensively here on Icebox on a map that is, let's be real, this map is basically a set piece simulator. Like, there is no real map control style. It just turns into a lot of, like, heavy executes.
Wow, Mikhail with a sick read there to send it back. Close quarters for Hwin means he finds a kill, but shahzam sits him down and will upgrade himself from a vandal to the operator. B-site now cleared out. That spike will be picked up as a 4v3 still. Sentinels playing on the back foot. We'll see where they decide to plant, because we've seen what happens when you plant in that default position, and there is Mikhail playing over towards that tube area to try and spray through the box should they choose to do that. Instead, he is going to drone out, and yeah, they're just trying to bait it out here.
Yeah, as you said, they're trying to see if they can't just comfortably get the spike down. They know they can't just go for it right away. Trying to see if they can bait a player out and peek and try to get it back into a 3 versus 3, but no one is biting here for GENG. They're sitting back. They're being smart. They know that they have Cypher to trust just to kind of hold A down. They're going to keep these 3 players more passive, waiting for the full commitment from Sentinels, which they're going to have to make here real soon. Time is running quite low, and now they start making their approach. Still have yet to find that pick they can really feel confident with, though.
30 seconds left.
And they were able to posture beautifully, though, as Mikhail finds that kill through the box. It bought a bit of time to try and plant. Now it's all up to Zombs and the Zombs Nation to get it done here. He finds the first, needs to find 3 more, but Genghsta will pick that one up from across the side towards Snowman. GENG, I think against all odds here, 7-5 at the half on a map that they've got no experience on. Guys, we have to jump away to a quick break, but when we come back, we'll see this attacking side from this, and they're going to try and hang on to this lead. Ideally, for the rest of the time here, they need a win.
That is an accurate statement. That is for sure. That is a cool little shock dart there from GENG. Takes a lot of different banks and clears out some cool space for them to actually march into the kitchen space. Sick, trying to battle it back as best he can. In GENG, they've had a couple players take some severe damage, but they're still a man to the good, and they have some interesting map control.
Yeah, that was, I mean, for a team that has no competitive kind of information on this map or background, you could tell Scrim's definitely paying off for that, jumping into the customs and figuring it out. Those lineups so huge, as you mentioned, though. A few members on low HP. Those members going to be taken down, and now Sentinels, a man to the good. On the defense, dapr spots out. Ooh, no, the kill going to be traded here. The spike does go down. It's all up to Mikhail. 1v3 as he tries to find some damage onto shahzam, who is low on HP. The frenzy, not enough, and Sick will close it out with a 3K, and Sentinels back to their winning ways.
And it just seems like Sick is often good for a multi. Yeah, that's a good way to put it as well. He's just often good for, like, a crazy multi-frag to give his team a chance. It seemed like GENG had done everything right to kick that round off. They had a nice little push up tube. They had kitchen. They were also splitting the B site from a couple of different angles. Things were looking quite solid. And then Sick just says, I'll have a 3K in this round. You'd be like, oh, okay, cool. Yep.
And it was also his shock dart while they were pushing through kitchen that knocked both Sean and Hwin to almost no HP. So yeah, it's the utility, it's the kills, it's the Sick show.
Yes. And that's a round, you know, they really wanted to keep this thing close. That's for certain.
Art not going to get too much there, unfortunately, but making sure that nobody was pushing aggressively buys him a bit of space. shahzam with the bulldog looking to take a
later.
bite. No, it's Win instead. A new sheriff in town. The kill does get traded back, but Win's still alive. Win's still feeling himself. Still has that sheriff, and could they make it onto this A site? There's an upgrade for somebody, but it is still a tall task as sinatraa finds one onto Genghsta.
Yeah, Sentinels looking to reel this one back in after Hwin's opening antics. We are seeing them get man advantage back here. sinatraa looking to get assertive with this Spectre. Up inside the smoke, hears them drop a weapon, tries to come in for the punish, but gets thwarted. At least able to escape with his life. Recon going down, locking Sick's position, but knowing it's half the battle when you're up against Sick because his aim is true. The marksman comes in for another and ties up the game 7 apiece. As now we got a game on our hands. Now we got something to work with.
Yeah. Oh, man. It just feels, again, those 2 rounds, obviously, you win the pistol. You're assumed to win the next. This one is really going to show me where GENG is at, because just like map number 2 in the last series. They put up a really good first half. I would hate to see them just start to fall apart here. So rifles across the board. Genji, they gotta come up big here, and it's so hard. It's a bonus round, but Shahzam also has that operator.
And he's already let him know. Taking the shot there through the smoke. Is going to spot this drone coming in as well from Belt's position. Zombs will close it out to Spectre. And again, Genji, we know that they're a much slower paced team in comparison to teams like Sentinels and Immortals. They're going to take their time. They're not just going to commit to a set piece right off the rip. They're going to try to maybe put some pressure elsewhere on the map, get some information. It's hard to fight like and really take map control, because whenever you gain control of this map only really sets you up for one site, unless you somehow take middle. But you don't really see attacking teams mess with middle. It might be like a late flanking option or something, or maybe you just kind of stick around there to cut off rotations, but it's never really used to actually attack. So yeah, it's really just more about taking your time, trying to get a pick, and then setting up for mid to late round execute. And Shahzam is going to take one weapon out of the arsenal there of Genji as we start drifting towards that late round scenario. And Genji actually do creep up tube.
And you called this perfectly. It's not a play for the attack right away, but they try and steal away some of the map here later. And sinatraa not able to find the kill. GMD actually going to push through. There it is, the Martyrdom paint shells. Now Sentinels find themselves down to the last 2 here, but it is that operator. It is a bulldog here for Zombs, and the spike is actually on A site.
Yeah, I mean, Sentinels didn't really have any idea when you're getting busted at kitchen like that and you're losing all of your forces. You're kind of assuming maybe they're trying to set up a B split, but they'll find out that that is not actually the case. That was more of like a backstabbing auction to actually pinch the A side. Now they have to try to retake with limited resources, and it's just gotten even worse there with Zombs off the board, all on Shahzam now.
Just since opted out of the operator. Now with the Phantom in hand, he's going to give up his position. He is going to get spotted out, and Kusta's going to take him down. Kusta has been this player that kind of quiet, but then has huge moments like that 3K there, shutting down the retake.
Yeah, I mean, this is, you know, really his first tournament, right? I mean, he played the Open qualifier, and now he's here in Challengers 1. I think this is maybe only like the 14th or so map that he's played officially in Valorant. So he's kind of got thrown in the fire as far as the opportunities he's had to play against, and he hasn't really had a whole lot of time to get his feet wet and really settle in. But big round there for him, and big hat trick to get Genji back to lead. Again, do or die situation for these teams in this series. If you lose, you're out, and you have to play to the Open qualifier for Challengers 2, and that is a tough one. Basically, lose all the ground you gained.
And for that Open qualifier, next time around, it's only top 4 that'll make it to the next close. So you even have less to work with as you grind your way through the round of 128 up. So definitely a dire spot where both of these teams, they don't want to be, but I would imagine we see them climb themselves up top once more, should they be in those shoes. And again, it's Genji kind of taking that slower approach with no kind of real idea on how they play the map. You can see that it feels like they're a little awkward on it as well. It's the slow approach. It's the first kill from GMD, though, so making it look a whole lot less awkward. As Shahzam is forced to back away, he's going to jump right back up top, and Gimon is privy to this information. He sits him down. He sprays through the smoke. He doesn't get away, but 2 kills for 1 is a favorable trade for Genji.
Sick able to upgrade as well to the Phantom. He's found another and another. That's 3 for Sick, and he may not be done yet. He's on for the ace in a way to rescue this round for Sentinels and steal it right in front of Genji's faces as he's holding the angle here down low. He does get pushed off there by some of the fire of the opposing Cypher, also caged off now, vision being blocked, but all the while stalling on the spike is taking place courtesy of Genji, and now they've found Hwin to boot. It's now all on Sick. It's really going to be tough on him, and yeah, Hwin from this with the operator is going to be on point, and that is another round for Genji. They are really showing us much more proficiency than we ever witnessed in the first series of the day.
And you can't ask for much more from Sick, right? Another 3K here on the defensive side. An ace, it kind of out of reach there. You just, if you're Sick, I think you just need a little extra help here from the rest of the squad in that round, and it's an easy Sentinels win. But instead, it's Genji growing their lead even more here.
Let's start this party.
Yeah, they are showing no signs of slowing down thus far. Looking like now they're trying to set Win up for an early pick over here at A side against an ecoing Sentinels. Mikhail's Hunter's Fury looking to pave the way, and it finds zombs on top of clearing out some angles, but they don't really commit off the back of it. Again, GENG wanting to take their time, trying to put some pressure on Tube. They're going to force some Boombot out here towards kitchen side from Sinatraa, forcing out his paint shells as well. They're burning a lot of the opposing utility.
We do find ourselves on an eco for Sentinels, so ideally, again, another round that GENG should be able to put up here. The first time in a while, it feels like that we've seen them, at the very least, you know, picking up this many rounds now, inching closer to double digits. Satchel charge, push on over. They do spot one out. It is just the Sheriff. I don't know how much of the, I guess, wall bang ability they have in their weaponry. As a couple of kills going to be traded back and forth, though. Now it's all up to one. There's the Sheriff. There's GMD. He's going to sit him down, and GENG will move to double digits.
Yeah, they're starting to really piece together a nice final draft of Icebox. You know, they're starting to dot those I's, cross those T's, finish things off. They only really need to win like one more real buy round to basically ensure it. You know, if they win this, Sentinels are going to be force buying the rest of the half. So I wouldn't say, again, I don't think this is like Sentinel's last chance by any means, but it only gets harder from here when it comes to their economy, whereas GENG do have a little bit of money in the savings. So very big round here for Sentinels to hang around on this map.
They spot out the op early, and it's an op on attack as well for Hwin. So we know that he's definitely feeling himself and wanting to take those challenges. Sick hanging out in that tube smoke, though. Not want to give up too much towards mid here. He's actually going to get sat down. Guimond, again, he just... What is this? He's got his own neural theft going on. It was Shahzam earlier on A when he jumped back up top. And then a beautiful read there towards mid to cut Sentinels down to only 4 remaining.
Yeah, Sentinels are losing a lot of opening picks in this half, and it's just giving an easier time. Again, GENG, when you're that default calculated team, getting opening picks just gives you so much more flexibility to work it out. And that's a big miss from Sean, though. They really needed that rocket to land to open up a bit more space, but luckily the follow-up from Guimond and company has been on point, so they will have a 3-on-2 post plant here.
And the operator's still alive as well, so Shahzam able to play this range, try and find some picks. GENG, they're going to be A-okay to just hold it down. Now it's all up to the operator. Kusta again finding crucial frags, know exactly where Shahzam is at. And I don't think he has a weapon anywhere near him to be able to push on up. No, it's Kusta for another 3K as GENG inch closer, now 1 away from match point here.
Yeah, you can see that like GENG have more routes to their attacks. You know, it's not fully focused up one area. Like they're able to abuse middle a bit more. They're able to put pressure on kitchen via tube. It's not just like 5-man yeet at B or 5-man yeet at A. Like there's actually a little bit more calculation to it. And again, that's more to their style as a team, just liking to play a slower pace. They always have been that way, even with their old rosters. But yeah, Sentinels, basically what always kind of kept them going was the fact that they could play explosive Valorant effectively, and they had a bunch of skilled players. But now, like, that skill gap is almost starting to shrink a bit, and it seems like they're looking a bit lost.
And lost is exactly the definition here, is they've lost 1 player. That being Zombs now down over towards this A site. The Boombot can go through, and Win just trying to keep it going. Sean gonna go right on. Paint shells come through from Sinatraa to try and deter the push. Location revealed for Sean. Doesn't matter anyway. Sick goes down. No 3K for you, Sean. Looking to match it here and be that sick for this GENG squad. Unfortunately, he's gonna be sneaking his way out of this one the best he can, and Win is there to back him up. The rest of the squad gonna push on through, and GENG move to match point.
Guimond has to be wondering, how in the world am I dying? You're sitting here dancing around detained. How am I the one going down? But I'm sure it's, you know, a small price to pay for victory, as they're now up to 12 against the 7 of Sentinels. Sentinels have yet to find a defensive round here, and now they have to do more with less. They have to try to carry 5 rounds in a row with limited weaponry to their names. GENG are starting to pave the way towards the finish line here on Icebox. Looking very strong, looking like an awakened team after a tough time against the Mortals.
Cover going out.
Ooh, early aggression though, punished, kill traded back. So Sinatraa feeling pretty good about that one as they send a shock dart to try and stop further pushes through towards tube. Now with the the damaged economy, I guess the hindered economy? That's not the right word, but I'm just gonna go with it. They're still an operator. So Shazam on the half armor, able to find another kill, put Sentinels up a player. You also have that Hunter's Fury and the From the Shadows available. So at the very least, Sentinels can look to buy some time. The only problem is they need to win this one and then 4 more to follow to get to OT.
That's a great turret placement because it ensures that they know that someone's crossing back towards A side. So they know that they need to start reinforcing A now. And that's also one of the few times this half, maybe the only time, that I've seen Sentinels at mana advantage in the mid round. So let's see what they can do with that edge as the drone actually flies over one player. Does spot the jet there in the back, though, and gets the dart off.
Still enough to assume, but because they did not see the Sova, they were not expecting him. He pushes up, finds a kill. Now things have been even, and that mid-round lead will fall by the wayside. There's the Hunter's Fury, though. Only 25 seconds left on the clock as Sick finds a tag. The dash comes through, so not going to find the kill. Dapr, though, instead will, and it's going to be the odds even. Mikhail looking to close it out. Now full utility with a couple of shock darts and an ultimate available on top of it all, but it doesn't matter. The operator will find the kill onto Shazam. Sick now looking to stick it. Here comes a Hunter's Fury in reverse, and Sick just going to try and run him down. Doesn't get tagged. Rifle comes through, and they're going to look to go toe-to-toe. He doesn't know where he's at. Yes, he does. Sick sits him down, and Sentinels stay alive for 1 round further.
That's the one critical problem with Hunter's Fury in a 1 versus 1 is it just gives your opponent a chance to run you down as soon as you're done with it, and that's exactly what Sick did. A smart play by him to realize that waiting out those shots was not the ticket, and just getting in his face and catching him completely off guard. So really well done there from Sick. Again, keeping his team afloat in some critical moments. It was a solid round from GENG through and through, though. I mean, yeah, they got halted the plan initially, but they kind of accounted for that and were able to see Kusta get off a nice neural theft that, you know, gave them a real chance at closing that down. But Sick pulls off the clutch, and we're right into another round here on Icebox before it's all said and done.
It's still a lighter buy, though, across the board, too.
Sure.
You still have that Spectre on Sinatraa. I think there's a Bulldog available as well. This time around, they opt not going into tube, not looking to play close range. But if they head down B once more, the operator's still available for Shazam. Shot going to go wide, not going to find too much, but it's looking to be explosive. The spike still over towards A, so nothing totally called out. And now B has since been locked down. And I said it before, Sean, he goes off the board. Sentinels find a round. This could be the recipe here for this one.
Yeah, Shazam's been doing his job here at Long B, always kind of denying access to that or making them pay for it with the life of a player and keeping his team at a man advantage. And that's been the big difference because, again, early on in this half, Sentinels were always going into the mid to late round a man down. Now they're finally starting to find their footing and get themselves man advantages. But again, Gimon finding a good timing on this tube lurk. Now there is alarm bot here ahead of him that is going to alert Sentinels to them looking to take this position. So in the meantime, look at this from Win.
Oh, I mean, they're just reading each other back and forth. Sick gets the read on that one, gets the shots on target as well. Win will fall and they creep up towards mid. Now again, all for naught. Sentinels looking to close it out here. I'm not too sure where the remaining 3 go because they're spread across the map.
They really are, and the spike, though, is going to be tucked in over towards the A side. You're seeing Gimon try to flank up middle, but again, Sick is just there waiting. He has just been a pivotal piece to this defense for Sentinels. Kusta trying to break through by his lonesome, but time is low and numbers stacked against him here. It looks like he is going to go down. He's taking some people with him, though. A couple of nice kills there on the Sinatraa and Sick. Not too shabby. Dapr, though, will stop him from saving over the Vandal. And all of a sudden, the gap is starting to shrink. Sentinels 3 rounds away from perhaps forcing some overtime. And remember, Sentinels came into this game with a 7-5 record, and 4 of their 5 losses were in overtime. So they've typically always challenged really well, even when the going has gotten tough in the early part of the map.
If Sentinels not only win this game, but win this series, I think it just goes to show that it would go to show that this team needs to be pushed a little bit before starting to come online and really turning things on. Now, we're still quite a bit of ways away from that. Sinatraa going to be the first to fall. Win takes the fight right to him. He's going to find Sick. That's 2 off the board early, and things are looking different this time around for GENG. GMD going to find one on the flank. The blades go up top, and what goes up must come down as dapr does just that, but needs to find himself the ace here in this one as he creeps back over towards the alarm bot, able to find another. So 2 to his name. One playing towards spawn. The spike now going down on this A site. 77 health, 4 armor. Not a whole lot to work with, but low HP here in the defender side of spawn. He's able to find a third. Now things are looking a bit more doable. Spots one down low. One is going to be playing up top on heaven as well. Lockdown comes through. He's got the time that he needs, but he doesn't have the angle. It's Demon to sit him down. 13-9 as GENG go back on the board to obviously step things up. And then again, the versatility from Sentinels. Hopefully that's not going to kind of bite them in the butt. Sinatraa taking a step back from the duelist, going on that Sova. And the 3 spikes, the GENG slow play style. We get to see how it plays out right here in map number 2, Dust.
I mean, Sinatra's like the wildest Sova you're ever going to watch, though. He still can be very aggressive and do a lot of crazy antics on the Sova. Particularly, obviously, the Odin spamming through Garage defensively is something that he's well known for, similar to the Ascent spam he would do at B Lobby. As we are going to see them look to get maybe a little bit aggressive here out through Garage, but right now they're kind of holding firm as it looks like GENG want to put that pressure on B site.
Yep, a lot of pressure on this B site. They're actually just running right through here. The spike is still there. Now the spike on the ground, and they have to go back to retrieve. shahzam in a spooky spot as he finds himself in a 1v2. He's able to pick up 1, and you can't ask for much more, except for the rest of the squad now bringing up the rear. Here comes Sick. Tosses down the hot hands. Low HP. Now a 1v1. It's up to genghsta. Can he get it done here? Sick looking to peek. He's gonna swing wide, but Sick with the 4K. Sentinels on top.
It's just one of those perfect examples of the fact that Sick doesn't give a flying rip about your calculated attack. Sometimes he's just gonna get out there and say, all right, let's fight. He's going to win those battles quite often. He is just so strong individually because this was a nice split attempt from GENG. Like, they were able to put the pressure on B. They were able to get some pushes up through sewers. They had main advantage through the bulk of that round. And then Sick just says, nah, I'll be having that.
So
big quad kill.
I mean, if you could kind of help me get in the minds, because you had 2 pushing up short, 2 pushing through B, but the spike was trying to be planted. Now, we got to hold this thought for just a second because it's aggression once more, but everybody getting mowed down here. dapr with 2, the Ares, it's the save round. But if you blinked, you missed it. Sentinels grab 2.
Yeah, to go back to that, I think the plan, and I can't know for sure, but I think the plan was just to have the plant at B, but then have like a way to backstab that A link so that they weren't funneled into playing post plant from middle. Or they could have maybe brought the spike through link to A site if they felt that was the better option. They could have gone either way with it, I think. And I think they were just trying to see like what made the most sense once they got the picks. And unfortunately, Sick was just like, nah, I'll just ruin that parade. So now we're on to somewhat of a full buy here for both teams. Obviously, some Spectres being recycled over.
Run it back, going to be used. Out towards mid. Sick looking for some more. Flash comes through, tries to find the spray down. Not going to get it, but the information is there, and shahzam is there to follow up against Sentinels. Just working so well together in this bonus round, especially thwarting GENG here. The ingenuity in the first round, now moving a couple rounds later. None of it matters, especially when GENG are down a player.
Yeah, Sentinels are so good at dictating the pace at middle on the defensive side of this map. That's like one of the reasons why they had such a high defensive win rate on Haven, is because they're able to use, you know, Sinatra's utility to pave the way, to get aggressive at Garage, to get aggressive up middle, to challenge window, and to really make it difficult on defaulting teams to get that control to start setting up side splits towards C or B. But GENG are able to find A, and they actually just found a couple of big picks, and all of a sudden they're in the driver's seat.
Absolutely, and they know dapr still up top. genghsta able to find the grape there of shahzam and to pop it. It's down to the last 2 for Sentinels as GENG look to find their way on the board here on Haven. One gonna peek on through. That zombs down. Now dapr needs to have himself around. Ares in hand. He's since moved out from heaven. He finds 1, but 3 more on the menu. I don't know if that's the case. Ooh, actually gonna swap weapons and maybe go for it here. Am goes through. He is running out of time though, Dust, and I mean, yeah, it's slim pickings for him here.
He's trying to creep in. There's a couple of players on low HP, and he finds the healthiest one already, but time is ticking. Spike is not planted in a favorable position. He knows he can get peeked from sewers and long at the same time. He's trying to draw someone out. He's trying to bring down who he can with him. And ultimately, of course, he's looking to end it so he can make sure he gets that full money bonus going into the next round. But you know, he caused a little bit of a disturbance there in the end, but ultimately it's going to be a victory for GenG. But again, forcing some rebuys, keeping their economy low, it's going to help them out in the long term for sure. As that was just a brilliant round. Like, even though Sentinels were doing some big things, getting aggressive over towards middle, genghsta able to kind of lurk his way through sewers into A site, allow them to have that opening to get in there, and then they caught a couple of big frags thanks to Mikhail, I think, had like a clutch shock dart that caught someone and gave them an advantage in post plant.
Yeah, and then went through the smoke, finding another on that rotate. So maybe a little bit of complacency being punished there from Sentinels. As this next round, although winning the first two, kind of in a hindered by once more. It's a glass cannon operator, and I believe Sick was on the Stinger. As we saw that jump peak come on through. Very, very aggressive stance over towards C-Long here from Sentinels.
Yeah, it's creating a gap, though, here on the other side of the map, and you can see that GenG are trying to expose that. Sick, though, gets inside the cage and again disrupts. Hot hands to stop any further pushing into B side, and he's able to start getting the heals off as well. He's got Sinatraa to aid him right there outside the garage. So Sick has done his job to slow this attack down. Sentinels already have man advantage. They're over to back off of long C. And now GenG are having to pivot once again back through A side, but Sentinels were kind of planning, I think, to play retake, but zombs gets caught, and that's big.
Both omens going down here, and this one is actually Guimond getting caught back towards the spawn by that aggressive stance over towards C-Long. Now Shahzam has since rotated over with that operator, trying to find some extra love towards this A site. Nice post plant, though, coming out from GenG, and Quinn actually completely on the flank here, undetected. Should be able to find quite a bit in the 4v4. Reloading is dapr. Dead is dapr as Quinn backs away to reposition. Boost on 30 HP needs to be careful, but it's looking like another GenG victory. Sinatraa, though, trying to make me eat my words on the back end of this one, and the flank doesn't matter. Shahzam is holding it down. Sean's able to trade another 22 HP to his name. It's only Shahzam left as he found that kill onto Win, but he's running out of time. Oh, finds a kill on the way out, and he is just going to save. It's GenG tying things up at 2, but what a round, Dust.
What a weird classic kill from Shahzam. It's like a burst classic through a wall. Like, what in the heck?
Nerf the classic.
Wow.
Again.
I mean, man, though, what a nice timed flank there from Win. I like that GenG never have all their eggs in one basket. Like, there's always some type of flanking option or some type of alternate route to hold from a post plant. They're never being funneled one direction, and so therefore they can always kind of like poke and prod Sentinels and never let them feel comfortable as they're getting their footing to launch back into a site. Even though Win only got one kill on the flank, he made sure that his team always stayed a man ahead, and he always kept someone's attention when they couldn't fully focus on retaking the site itself. So those are just kind of those extra little layers to GenG's attacks that are really helping them cash in victories on top of just having the execute go their way.
And more aggression here from Sentinels. Punished a bit as Shahzam takes some damage on the way out. Stinger in the hands of Sean as he looks to peek into a stinger in the hands of Zombs. We'll see who gets the better half of this one towards Sewer. The spike has since pushed all the way up towards A short. It's actually Zombs. No, not coming out on top. He's first to contact, but first to go down. Sick trades it back, but it doesn't matter. GenG are looking to grab themselves a lead. 4v2 operator in hand. Everything looking good for this squad.
Yeah, they also really get the neural theft off to confirm where the retake was going to be coming from on these two remaining players from Sentinels, so no wool being pulled over their eyes in this scenario. As they'll also be able to cage up Heaven as soon as that smoke dissipates, so it's going to keep that angle from being used for quite some time here from Sentinels, as they really have no hope at getting back into this. It's raining mid, and Sinatraa falling from Heaven, and that's going to be a third round for GenG, and they haven't looked back since losing Pistol, man. Once they got their economy in order, they have been bulldozing through some of these rounds. A couple of them have been, you know, somewhat close, but it feels like they're always in control.
When do we get to see, now this would be on like a 5-man eco retake, but when do we get to see the full 5-man flood through Heaven, you know, just like we see in similar games? I would love to see something like that, and I feel Sentinels would kind of be that team to give us that flair on the retake. Now this time around, though, full rifles, Shahzam sitting on that Stinger, but he has the blades, so full armor, blades. Shahzam can be very, very scary here, as GenG go right back to their default, just that 5-point stance kind of across the backside of the attacker's spawn, and back to the default ways.
Yeah, Sinatraa again trying to use that drone to put some pressure against GenG, trying to take some mid control, but they're able to stamp it out pretty quickly. In the meantime, we do have a big commitment from Shahzam up close at that long A position. It allows zombs to rotate a bit more freely towards the B link. But if we see GENG double back A, then it would be a bit exposed. So it's kind of a little bit of give and take there as they're doing a lot of spam damage here. Six gonna have to back off and heal towards defending spawn. GENG have yet to really take control of anything just yet, other than middle. Like, they haven't been able to get garage just yet. They're trying to look for a pick at long C at the same time, but dapr's not really giving them anything. So again, they're playing out that slow default that's very common on Haven for all teams. Even the most aggressive teams typically have to take their time on Haven because there's just so much ground to cover. But eventually, GENG need to snap onto something, and unfortunately, they just haven't really gained any like big territory yet.
Yep, that would have been a good first one from Quinn, but instead, it's Sinatraa. Pick up the first onto Sean, trying to push through the garage. C still seems to be the place to be here for GENG. Kusta with the spike in hand is going to get spotted out. Here comes the Hunter's Fury to try and stop it. It's the kill with the rifle instead, as Sinatraa picks up 2-3 on the round, but 2 with the Hunter's Fury, and GENG back to their losing ways here. No way in for Mikhail. Gonna have to save the Phantom here and hope to do some damage on the way out.
Yeah, GENG were just never able to take that next critical step that round. Like, yeah, they got out into the middle, but they were never able to really put pressure on B. They weren't really able to take control of the garage. They obviously were hoping to pinch C there with their operator being parked outside long C, hoping to get a pick. But dapr, again, really smart Sentinel player, good at anchoring, never going to overexpose himself, doesn't really make too many errors, normally always going to buy time for rotations. And so when Hwen's not able to find the op pick and they're not able to get C control, they can't really set anything up. So Sentinel's finally shutting down this GENG attack, and I'd like to see if they can do it 2 in a row, though. You know, they haven't inspired much confidence just yet on this defense.
Flash out, Quinn looking to do some damage here. Another operator in hand. And that's one of those things, the biggest hindsight 2020 moment where you get so much damage onto Sick and you're just thinking, well, yeah, just play off of that. But because of the smoke, because Sick getting away, they have zero knowledge of that damage actually transpiring. So just a round to fall by the wayside as Sean finds a beautiful one-tap here. Sinatraa goes down. There's the running back. Sick gonna go down as well. And here we go. The B site is free for this squad. It's down to the last 2 on the retake. And Sean gonna get himself a nice reset. 100 HP, 5 members versus 1. It's up. Shahzam comes out on top. I don't think he's got much left in the tank here. A rifle at his feet should he choose to swap. But Kusta on the flank. Dust, you talked about it. The different angles, the different approaches, so many avenues. GENG just continue to play using the whole map.
Bro, that shot that Sean hit on Sinatraa, like, you can't even account for that. And there's nothing you can do about it. That's just sometimes raw aim taking over a round. And Sean blitzed him. Hyun catches Sick through the smoke with the operator. And then on top of that, Sean pops the ult, and he makes sure that his team has garage control. So on top of having double mana advantage and the B site entirely in their possession, he ensures that they're going to have control of garage in the post lane if it's needed. So they're not, again, funneled one direction, which it didn't even wind up mattering. They just waltzed all through that round. But I like that GENG are taking those extra steps to make sure that they're, you know, minding their P's and Q's and making sure that they're playing disciplined Valorant and kind of sticking to a game plan even when things are just like spiraling like totally in their control.
I wish I knew enough about One Direction to make a witty little...
It's for the best that you don't.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't, so I can't go much more with that. But more importantly, the A side looking to be the next one to be stormed. GMD going to find the first. Sick trades it back. This time good for a kill before going down as Mikhail picks one up. And Sean just cannot be stopped again. He's just a fragger for this squad. Win with the cherry on top. And Sinatraa, one of the first to fall in the last round, needs to find himself 3 kills and quite possibly a defuse. There's the first one to start, so not a bad start for him. But Kusta on the flank once more. Hats off to this guy.
Yeah, GENG are really cooking up a big attacking side here. They've won 5 of the last 6. They're, you know, getting the economy low on their opponents. They're, you know, well on for a 6th round now at this point, considering what little Sentinels are going to be able to purchase going into this round. And they still have plenty of cash to sit on for the future. So, man, this has been brilliant. Kusta's cleaning frags up. Sean's creating openings. I mean, they're starting to really flex their muscles here.
I need to watch this one back just to watch the minimap to see where Kusta is going, because he just finds himself in the perfect position every single time. Now, Sick unfortunately spotted out, so his position given up, but
I like what he's doing at the beginning of rounds, because, you know, it's so common for ciphers on this map on the attacking side to just kind of default towards A and use their cam to clear out showers for intel and then cage the cross to deny defense knowing if you're taking, you know, sewers. But he's throwing his cage over the wall deep, and so not only is he threatening sewers control, he's also able to get some initial space towards long A safely. And it's like a nicer way of doing it, I think. And I imagine that's going to become more commonplace.
And Sick, just no breathing room, getting spotted out both times, but with the run it back, he's able to find the kill, and the paranoia just a moment too late from GMD. Now the A side coming through, but the Stingers coming out on top here for Sentinels. They start to cut down this Genji roster, and they're completely corralled here. GMD doesn't know which target to pick, and it's looking like a thrifty victory here for Sentinels to get back on the board. Quinn's got nowhere to go.
Yeah, I mean, Shazam's dancing around with all the different movement abilities Jet has, never giving Quinn a clear shot, and that's a tough round to lose if you're Gen G, because you were coasting through the half. Like, yeah, you lost Pistol in the follow-up eco, but they were dictating the pace the whole rest of the game since then, and then to lose to a low buy like that's tough, because I feel like that's right when you have your boot on their throat and you're ready to dominate the half if you can pull that one over. And instead, Sentinels are now right back in the mix with the victory like that. A brilliant play from Sick with the ult to backstab through window, get his man, open up a pinch through long A, and just shut down Genji's attack. That's exactly what Sentinels needed to get some confidence back about them and keep the gap close on the scoreboard.
Blades queued up here. No buy coming out from Huynh. He's still sitting on that classic, so we'll see if that secondary is necessary as the smoke goes down. He's going to go right through the trap wires. He dashed on the side, tries to get to the back, but the hot hands are going to keep him at bay. He goes up top, but again, dapr sits him down, reminiscent of Icebox. Huynh just cannot get the better half of the Sentinel. GMD goes to the back of the site, but it's just too telegraphed, and dapr is holding it down now, looking for some extra. Finds the kill with the last bullet in the mag. It's a 4K for dapr.
I thought it's the first time Dapper's really gotten tested this game, and he delivered immediately. A big quad kill round for him. He's mostly had to just like rotate and help play retake on B or A. But again, it's hard messing with Dapr. He's a really good side anchor on that Cypher. He's really good at buying time, getting kills, playing smart, not taking overly aggressive angles, but just kind of picking his battles wisely. That's why I think he's like one of the best Cyphers we have in the region.
I feel like you see that too. Like on defense, you expect your Cypher to be able to get a whole lot done. Look at Genghsta, the attacking Cypher, the attacking Sentinel being at the top of that leaderboard. Now, granted, they have been some awkward flank kills, you know, doing his job as an attacking Sentinel, but hats off to these guys. Now you just need those omens to start creeping on up. Both Zombs and GMD having a harder time finding those rifle fight wins. Shazam looking to find a kill for himself. Genghsta, I cursed him. I hyped him up. He gets taken down. But the B side has since been taken. We might just see a plant here, and Gen G are going to try and have as many avenues once more.
Oh, that's a nice little flash there from Sean. Almost thought he missed, but he banked it off the wall perfectly. Actually got a kill, but Huynh actually is going to control this A link, and that's big because, again, they're going to get a plant, and they have multiple positions to hold the defuse away from.
Ooh, they barely miss out on the shrouded step, so GMD gets away. Now a 2v2. Huynh on low HP, trying to get away. It's the Odin to the back of the site. We'll see what Sinatraa can get done with this one. He mows down one, he mows down two. He's good for 3. The Sentinels grab themselves 6, looking to have the better half of the half.
Again, I like what Gen G were doing there. I mean, Huynh being able to get into the A link, also being able to dash away from danger, protecting his teammate with the shrouded step to get out. And they had a real shot at winning that round in the 2v2 post plant, but I can think of few things I would least like to do than run into Sinatraa holding an Odin. Like that's kind of a death sentence.
That's exactly what I say. I feel like he is kind of, you know, Odin being the god, kind of the god with that Odin, almost,
yes,
you know, making a staple, a name for himself on across multiple maps. Now bringing it out to Ascent. You talked about him spraying through the mid doors. Instead, he just brings it to B side and uses it like a rifle.
Right here.
Yep. Couldn't have said it better myself here. So we're going to see Sinatraa pop off the Hunter's Fury right away, and boy, does it get some value. He has already chunked down Gimon very low, and it's also bought Sick a lot of space to move aggressively up long A.
Yeah, he feels to be a bit quiet, is only good for 1 there as Genghsta trades it back and gets himself an upgrade, courtesy of Gimon. Sinatraa, though, Neural Theft comes out, spots him out. He tried to find something from downtown with that Odin. Unfortunately, not going to get a whole lot. GENG, though, looking to creep up once more to play B. This time, Zom's going to be holding this one down. Sentinels not giving this one up for free as Sinatraa goes fishing for some info.
Yeah, he's looking to skate down. He doesn't spot anything, but he does still have his presence on the site with that Odin. We are going to see the run it back here from Sean, though, to clear out the entirety of B site. And can he gain anything extra? That would be the bonus here as he's trying to get into this A link, but he's unable to find frags. But again, he's guaranteed space on the site, but hold the phone. They've used that to flank into A. Kusta already has control of the site. Spike making its way up. Yun is still causing such havoc on B. Sentinels have no idea. They have no clue.
Goes huge there. You saw it was almost the knives battle. Unfortunately, Hwin ends up falling, but Sean picks up that kill onto Shahzam. Now GENG, not only a player ahead here, low HP on Kusta, we can't forget that, but in a really good spot as far as post plants go. Oh, Neural Theft, though, gives it all up.
One enemy remaining.
Knowing's half the battle, though, Tanner, as they do have to still fight their way through, and they can't do it. Sean winds up with 3, and that is going to tie the game up. 6 apiece. Sentinels' lives on the line. We'll see how it concludes after a short break.
Between these two teams, Mikhail looking to grab some early information, and aggression matched with aggression as they push down C. They're looking to get it done nice and early. GENG with the aggressive play style. A huge hot hands from Sean to pick up 2. Now Sentinels on the back foot. They do recover the spike. They do have the B site and A site open, but the stack pays off huge for GENG.
Bro, that'll get you up. Holy cow. That was awesome. I can't wait for someone to, like, break down that set piece and some content, because that was beauty. Now, a spike will get planted at A, but GENG have a 5-on-3 for the retake. Now, here's the interest. Look at this from Shahzam. Okay, this could be a way back in.
They're going slow.
I mean, they got plenty of time. The problem is the positioning that Sentinels have might be unexpected. Like, are they really going to expect Sick to be where he is? I don't know.
Well, they expect Shahzam a little bit as they find a dink on the way out. 24 HP there on that jet. 2 going to be playing towards a sailing. Now make it 1. As Sick is just going to get cut down. Now it's all up to dapr. Somebody's got to stick the defuse. It is a flawless pistol for GENG after the break.
Oh my god, that aggression at long C was beautiful from GENG because it basically traps Sentinels. Like, not only are they forced backwards, but they're forced backwards into damage, and there's no way to avoid it. They either have to just commit to continuing to push up long C to avoid getting burned, or they have to run into the fire, and that's exactly what happened there. Like, I think they even maybe were blinded at some point too, so they may not even realize they were sitting inside fire for a second there. So that was just like a brilliant set piece push for GENG. What a chef's kiss of a round from them. Holy cow. That was awesome to watch.
And it's now matched, though, by a force from Sentinels. So they're thinking, hey, that was a fluke. We're going to take it right to him. Full armor for 4, stingers for 5. And Hwin just going to cut them down to 4 as a whole. Shahzam's able to trade it back. Aggression once more, this time over towards the A side as the smokes go through. A nice upgrade for Shahzam will bring Sentinels back to the spawn and back to the drawing board. But Kusta on the flank once more.
Yeah, that could be a problem, couldn't it, here, as Sentinels trying to skate back here through window room. Kusta, like you said, making sure that they can't really get back to C without him noticing. He's going to spot them cross. He lets them by. He's just chilling, man. And I love the trigger discipline here. Now, he still could get screwed on timing. It's so tense, man. Okay, he's good now. Oh, my. Oh, my.
Oh, he's only good for 1, but the information, now the rotate to come back through. If only.
I'm going to say that that's pretty anticlimactic.
Yeah.
Like, he was doing everything right for so long, only to flop right at the end. But his team still has a shot here. 2 players are very low on health, and they have an even advantage here on this retake.
30 seconds left.
That they do, and a paranoia on top of it all. It's cherry on top, but Shahzam, 17 HP. It's 16 more than he needs to not only win that gunfight, but get the spike down. Now, again, it's SMGs across the board. So, although on low HP, these SMGs don't necessarily have the range that we might find ourselves in as that recon bolt gets taken down immediately. So a bit of information as to where Shahzam might be playing. Backs against the wall. The flash goes through. He dashes away. He's going to be taken down. Now in the 2v2, GENG once more on the retake, working against the clock, and dapr puts it down to 1. Sinatraa to close it out, and once more we're all knotted up.
How on God's green earth does GENG lose that round? I don't get it. Like, not only did they have man advantage, they had genghsta literally right behind them with all the information in the world and a chance to at least get 2 kills. Only gets 1. And then Gimon overcommits while he's by himself on C site. And rather than holding and waiting, when they have massive health advantage, he just tries to peek out by himself and dies, and then gets Sentinel's man advantage in a plant. So there was a couple of grave errors there from GENG. But you also have to give props to Sentinels for battling their way out of a tough spot.
Yeah, they do that, and they just keep it going forward. 3 quick kills to follow as GENG, unfortunately, on an eco round. Not a whole lot to write home about. A flawless one at that. Sentinels reclaim a lead here after a very even half, Dust. Oh, this is a nice one.
Oh, my. This is a wild ride, this half so far. You're really starting to have some confidence in GENG after such a brilliant pistol round victory, but then you see them kind of fumble the ball there in the next one, and then they have to suffer the punishment by losing the following eco. And now Sentinels have the lead. They have economic advantage. And this is where they can really get rolling. They are a very effective attacking team on this map. Sick feels very comfortable entering with Phoenix on this map, but we know how good this guy can bang.
And a quick beating. Oh, Kusto with the flick. Able to delay the plant for just a moment. No, even longer. Shahzam not feeling comfortable. Close quarter. Sean comes out on top. What a round to kick things off as GENG find themselves up 2 players. That run it back going to be sent right back for Sean. But Zombs playing out towards A link needs to find not only the spike, but has to recoup with Sinatraa out towards mid. Looking to creep his way up towards the garage. GMD going to be holding this one down, spots him out, and now they've got information on half. Make it information on everybody as Zombs gets spotted out. Sentinels on the back foot here.
Yeah, they well and truly seem out of this one. Just such brilliant play from GENG. Kusta running through, catching Sick. The run it back, stopping the spike plant, getting GENG into a 4-on-2 situation with limited time left for Sentinels to figure things out. As they are going to back off here and look to try to come up through long C. Now, it's very likely that they will get a plant. They should have smokes available to block some of the crossing points to allow them to get in and get a plant. They have a recon bolt as well for a little bit of intel if they need it in the post plant. But the numbers are just overwhelming for GENG, you'd have to imagine. As the spike does go down.
10 seconds left. Spike planted.
Feels like Sentinel's a team that you can't count out. Even being down 2 players.
Uh-oh.
Gone through the smokes. Not going to get too much. Sinatraa just playing close contact here, but that smoke is going to dissipate very soon. He gets spotted out and is forced to retreat. No damage on the way out, so no harm, no foul. Now they know. One playing towards the back of the side. Sinatraa picks up the first op shot. Not going to find the kill just yet. Sinatraa almost grabs another. Now Zombs needs to have himself a huge round. A bulldog in hand and bites for one, but it might just bark for the others as GMD sits him down. And once more, we're all knotted up.
Yeah, you could tell GENG had a sneaking suspicion that going in that smoke was not a good idea.
Yeah.
And you have to expect gimmicks. Like, when you're in the prime position, you have to know that your opposition is going to have to roll the dice a little bit to get a chance to win. And so just play out standard. Just leverage your advantage. Don't give them a chance to pull one over on you. That's exactly what GENG did there. They played discipline. They were able to come together. They kept their composure after losing a big round in the second of the half. And now, you know, they're right back in kind of equal footing with their opponent. They're equal on the scoreboard, 8-8. The economies are even pretty even. Alt economy sways a little bit towards Sentinels, but not by a large margin.
Sick with the spike in hand. Maybe not the member you want to have it on, as he's going to be looking to play aggressive. But as you stated, the alt economy in favor of Sentinels, obviously having that blade online, might make a fight for this orb here. All 5 members stacked up, so nobody really watching the flank. There's some trips and a camera out towards mid, but I feel like you just have to worry about where Kusta's at all times.
Sentinels gets a lot of intel with that drone there. They're able to fully come up sewers safely. They're able to start setting up this A split here. Counter smokes being thrown over towards sewers by GENG. The paranoia and the smoke combo is allowing Sentinels room to walk up, and now they have the entry on Koole, who was anchoring the site. Gamon, though, able to chase in there with the dart, with the intel to find a kill, and he catches shahzam in midair. That is huge.
Gamon expecting Jet to go up top, finds a second kill, and then to top it all off, it's another hot hands kill from Sean. And it looked like Sentinels maybe playing the round a bit too quick. Everybody moving back, and they were expecting Sick to be able to get the plant, but he's completely stunted. Now with the spike being planted again, Sentinels on the back foot, down a member. Now it's evened up as zombs finds one, playing underneath heaven, trying to stop the push. A-Link is where both members reside for GENG. Another kill looking to find its way through. Sean cuts it down to a 1v1. Flash goes through. He has the blaze. He has the hot hands. He's able to find the flash onto sinatraa. Now he has the information. He peeks on through, but sinatraa through the box will grab Sentinels a lead.
Man, that was huge. I was a little bit concerned for Sentinels when they popped the Hunter's Fury so early that they didn't seem like they were going to get the full value out of it. And also, when sinatraa missed those first couple of shots, I also feel like he gave away that advantage he had of being, you know, from the shadows and his opponent not really knowing where he'd be coming from in that 1v1, but sinatraa able to battle through all that and still come up with victory in the end anyhow. It's really hard still to know where this match is headed. It's so close, and I feel like GENG are showing us some good things, you know, enough so that I think that they're still hanging around in this, despite the fact that Sentinels now are starting to gain that edge. They have GENG on low economy. They have one round to the good. And they're looking like they're battling back nicely to force a third map here. But, again, GENG still aren't too far off. This round going to be tough, obviously, but they can be right back to buying in the next.
They're just getting mowed down in the eco. You can only hope to hurt some of the economy here. Is Gamon going to be the last one standing? He does pick up a couple on the way out. The wall bangs for both teams in that round. Incredibly exciting. At the end of the day, Sentinels to double digits, and we're back to rifle.
Here it is. This is the round. This is the one that GENG need to capture to keep the 2-0 dream alive. You have to imagine if they take the loss here with the economy the way that it is, they're going to be forced buying the rest of the game, and Sentinels should be in the driver's seat. You know, they should be the ones dictating the pace, and I feel like Sentinels are finally in that comfort zone. They've won 4 of the last 5. They are in charge in all aspects of the game, and their chances of forcing a third map are very high. But this is like the round they need to do to kind of stay on that path.
Ooh. Kale gets a tag. Not going to find much more on the back end, but a bit of damage. I think healed up. I think it was Sick was actually tagged out. Who, again, the spike holder for this squad as they inch back towards the right side of the map. Could be by possibly another A hit where Kusta is holding it down all by himself.
Yeah, that's like the one gap in the defense, I guess you could say, here for GENG, and that could be exposed. Gamon using his ult for a little bit of information there is going to start kind of confirming some locations. He's going to now rotate over to kind of be that assistance. They're still trying to keep winning this aggressive angle at middle, like almost like they want to just make sure that no one's going to take mid control from Sentinels, and also to give them maybe an option to get into window and backstab for a retake, but hard to say really, as they have now full sight on the Sentinel side of things. They still have to run it back as well on Sick to push even deeper if they want to start trying to cut off some of these retake angles. Ooh. It's a big kill from Kusta, though, up top on Heaven, being patient and finding a big frag. And he does now have a neural theft if he can find a body.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you just Batman it down and hope to get your team the information, that run it back to see how much it gets. The op gonna sit it down. I think not gonna find too much as the smoke goes through. It's zombs once more underneath Heaven, and it's GENG with the player advantage as they push to the hot hand. Sick trying to get one for himself, but GENG pick up 2, so now he's gonna trade it back, but win with the knives. Looks to sit them all down. dapr in a 1v3 will fall as well, and in one of the most important rounds, Dust, GENG come back on top.
Yes, they did. Big shout out to Kusta getting his first kill from Heaven to give them the 5-on-4, and then also they did a good job not allowing 6 run it back to have really any impact. Once they eradicated that, they're able to flex their man advantage, just came into the site, come in swinging, and just pop off. and they still have the run it back and the neural theft in play for the future. Meanwhile, there's only one ult in play for Sentinels. It's going to be Zombs' run it back, or it's going to be Zombs' from the shadows for maybe like intel, or maybe to get like a piece of the map to get some space. Obviously, dapr and sinatraa are not too far off from their ults though. So 1 kill, 1 orb, equalize it, as we are going to see again GENG looking for that same mid aggression they did last round, and why not? That never got detected, so they can kind of keep that in play and see if they can find something with it this time around.
Right here.
GENG being down around, playing a bit more passive this time towards C, but still aggression towards B, not wanting to give up that huge mid portion of the map, as Sentinels kind of lean on this A push again, but genghsta is all the way over on C. A's completely open. Obviously, we see that they do not, and they are headed, I mean, right into the jaws of the beast.
Yeah, I mean, this is Sentinel slowing it down, playing a bit more default. Obviously, most teams are going to have that opening with the smoke top C to get the orb, which they wanted to get that ult into the hands of sinatraa, because once you have that, that's Hunter's Fury for post plant. If you can actually get on C site and get a favorable plant towards long C, the problem is they've already lost a player towards middle. So GENG now have mana advantage, and they have not really captured C site yet. And in fact, GENG have great positioning defensively for a C split.
Paranoia used a bit slower on the push up top, and genghsta gonna sit sick down, no way, no how, onto the C side. There's the spike on the floor as well. Sean picks it up with the run it back that he netted in the round prior, and who better than genghsta? The first kill in the last round and 3 in this to close it out.
Yeah, this time it's just GENG cashing in on that same mid-aggression. This time it pays off. They were able to get a big pick on the shahzam at middle, and then they just had such good positioning at the back of C site. They never allowed Sentinel space to get in, which they needed, right? Their whole play was to get in there, split through garage and along, get spiked down, play off of sinatra's Hunter's Fury, and lock in around that way. As soon as they weren't able to gain that ground, it was all for naught. Here's the problem. GENG has burnt all their ults except for genghsta's, and I don't know that they'll be able to get any for the rest of this game. So that is the one thing helping Sentinels out now that we're tied up 10 apiece.
Yep, that Hunter's Fury that you noted a round ago, still available for that post plant, or at the very least some information. We know sometimes sinatraa just likes to fire that bad boy off. As B hit coming on through. Demon gonna find the first kill onto Sick, and again, that just hurts so bad. Here comes that Hunter's Fury, kind of haphazardly, not gonna find a whole lot there, as Sean now finds himself on the flank. The spike has since been planted. Able to find the first there onto dapr. Dapr almost sprays him down, though, with that stinger in hand. He's forced to back away to try and heal, and GENG with 5 members alive, now down to the last 2 for Sentinels here as GENG look to find a lead. Sean gonna toss out the curveball, try and find the flash. Towards the backside, they will go. The trade kills are just there, and shahzam is the last member in a 1v4 who has to try and kill the diffuser. He's able to find the first. He dashes over towards headshot through the smoke. He's trying to get it through the box, but it's just going to be stuck. genghsta closes it out. The defuse comes through, and GENG grab a lead.
I don't know whether to be critical or not there. Like, it did feel like Sick went really hard in the paint, not using a run it back, just straight up going for it through the smoke there. It did seem, yeah, it got space to get the spike plant, but it also just kind of sacked a player and gave GENG main advantage. And on top of that, it felt an odd timing for the Hunter's Fury from sinatraa. Like, I guess maybe he was using it to try to clear out A link so we could get his teammates in some better post-plant positions, like on the B side, but it also now wasn't there to prevent diffuses and kind of disrupt the defense coming back into B. So it almost feel like they're getting a little bit shaky, Tanner. Like that's kind of the vibes I get from around like that from what I saw.
It kind of throwing caution to the wind as a whole. Is oh no, bad spot to be for the op. shahzam takes it down. It was the knives, and another kill to follow. Sentinels battling back, as we said, throwing caution to the wind, but this time around much more calculated with that neural depth. They also have an extra bit of information, another kill to follow, and everybody from GENG just getting mowed down. And I mean, they're just running at him here. Now genghsta, I mean, he's done a whole lot, but this is asking so much in a 1v4.
It really is. He's able to get one there, but he's so tight as far as like where he can play from. There's no real room for him to breathe, and indeed he will get mitched there by 6 Phantom. So it's going to be all square. GENG were like on this path that they could never get off of. Like they had to keep going for the big play because they knew that if they let up, Sentinels would just keep taking more and more ground. And so when Hyun gets stuck in that corner, Sean wants to come save him or wants to come make a big play to equalize. but then it just sets you on that downward spiral. And then you're just like trying to tread water. I mean, hell, even I think it was like Mikhail had to like come and try to swing wide at Stewards because they just knew they needed a big play to get back in the round. They just never got it. And now we're all square again as Sentinels looking to get up long C. They're going to get the orb. They're going to get the drone out. He does get the dart off on the Cypher. He's making sure there's no tripwires on that initial entrance. It looks like they're wanting to set up for the C-splits. They're now also trying to get some garage control. And the run it back will be the point of the spear.
Yep, ooh, gonna be sent back almost immediately. Shahzam, though, able to get on through with that run it back. Being taken down, forcing everybody from GENG back towards this defender side and spawn the C-link area. One still playing over towards A, just in case. Win still holding it down, but the spike does get planted. And I feel like it's been a long time since we've seen the 5v5 retake for one of these sites.
The positioning is so good for Sentinels, though, by also being able to play under this window and not be stuck all at long C. But that is a great paranoid to allow GENG to start breaking in, but they still haven't really got any critical space yet.
Now the kills are just being traded back and forth. dapr out towards mid, able to pick up another. DMD gonna get traded out, and Sick goes huge. The run it back didn't get a whole lot, but he himself will find 3. Win gonna sit him down, but running out of time. Is this Jet? Is this Operator? And Sentinels will move to match point.
Yeah, Sentinels, that was a big round for them. Again, they're one of those teams that are so decisive. Sometimes their aggression can be their downfall when they overextend, or when they kind of like run out of options and they're kind of running their heads up against a brick wall and they don't really have like another play that they can go to adjust. But when it is working, or when they have the confidence, when they have that information, which the drone from Sinatraa gained so much at long C, the run it back gave them so much space at garage, that's whenever they can just strike, and that's whenever they can flex their firepower and show you what they're made of. And that was a great combination of abilities there to really confidently split up that C site. And then again, I love their post plant positioning. They had a player sitting outside garage, cutting off the mid flank. They had people playing under the window, cutting that route off. So it wasn't as if they were all just trying to play the ping spam battle from long C position or something along those lines. They had a lot of key pieces under their control that GENG were never able to claim back. And so that gave them a very swift victory. And now they're the ones sitting at map point looking to push us into a mat 3 to keep their tournament lives alive in what is such a critical match for both these teams.
Yeah, GENG picked this one up. They send Sentinels home back to the round of 128, and their life continues. Sentinels picked this one up and going to be taken to Ascent for that map 3. As we take a look across the board, I see a Bulldog. It's still full armor. It's looking to be some C aggression from Sentinels, but the spike on the ground this time, so giving themselves some options and more respect paid to this left side of the map if one gets tagged.
Sinatraa waves hello there to the Cypher trying to play in the corner of that double stack box, just trying to avoid its vision, but unable to do so. They're able to once again get that C orb, and it's very common for attacking teams to be able to get that. I mean, it's just so easy to smoke that long C position and get that orb and start building ults. They are going to have Gimon ult just to make sure they hadn't made it up long A yet, because they are indeed playing for a retake A setup. So they want to at least have some idea on the timing of when they need to start making their rotations. And unfortunately, he didn't really spot anything, so they're still not quite sure. But now, with that smoke being thrown over towards A heaven and towards the low slide, they do know what they're up against. And now also zombs able to ult into the under heaven position. So they're going to have a lot of space. And it's going to once again be that 5-on-5 retake for GENG.
And their post plant, again, a lot of avenues to play with here. They're not just corralled on this site. Zombs, who ulted underneath heaven, has since left that position. And the spike now planted in that back corner. 5v5 retake again here. This could close it out or take us to overtime. The drone gonna look to get some information. There's the ultimate come through, the run it back, use a couple of kills to follow GENG down to their last 3 here. The push up towards short. We'll see what they can find. Sean now holding the angle. Some kills traded back, but it's still a player advantage. Sean in the 1v2. He's going to fall, and it's all up to Kusa with the operator in hand. Sentinels will close it out 13-11, and map 3 now on the horizon.
Indeed it is, but a skin in our teeth.
Last time, I will say, that we saw GENG on this map was earlier today, and Sean, again, was a force to be reckoned with. Absolutely insane. And the rest of the team behind him, you mentioned, Dust, that there's a lot of pressure. There it is. That's what I'm looking for. A lot of pressure for Sentinels to be the team winning this one. And I wonder if that's just enough for GENG to play loosely and, you know, not play too tight and continue to play confidently as they push up. Not going to find anything on a Sinatraa just yet, but they do have the information. Paranoia goes down, but spotting out 2 is a nice little trade, and he's actually able to pick up a kill. One of the only classics, 1 of 2 here on Ascent in this pistol round. Finds one back, and genghsta makes his way all the way through again, this guy.
It's weird because I don't know how to explain this, and I know it's going to sound like really odd to viewers, but I feel like genghsta's quietly had an insane amount of impact.
Yes.
Like, I bet if you go look at the overall stat sheet, his numbers might be the best on the team. But it like happens in these weird ways where it's not like crazy flashy. Like, he's just playing smart. He's just doing his job. You know, getting intel, getting some space on the map. Like, he had several lurks on A Heaven, for example, on the air attacking side to kind of give them the room they needed to pounce onto sites and stuff. And he's getting his kills in critical moments in the mid to late round. Again, they might not always be the most flashy, but they're still very impactful. Like, he's actually risen to the occasion very quickly for this team, despite having very limited amount of officials under his belt.
And you can't ask for much more. It makes this roster look that much more solid as Sinatraa skates away 4 HP to his name. Sick gonna get spotted out, but able to back away, so not a whole lot going on here in this one. All quiet, a little bit of damage over towards the Sentinels side, and GENG just continuing to play it slow.
Yeah, again, this is GENG style, right? They like to play the defaults out. They like to take their time. They like to just kind of get some initial map control, find a launching pad, and then play for that mid to late round execute. That's just GENG in a nutshell. They've always been a slower team in the NA region. So no surprise to see them kind of take a similar pace here as they're just going to, you know, put their smoke down the door, drone their way in, make sure all the corners are checked. Don't leave any stones unturned. They will genghsta as a late flank through Cat, and he's done his job well, cutting off any potential rotations, and that is the round to GENG in the blink of an eye, essentially. To be expected in a round like this, to be fair. And Gibon, okay, give him a little something extra.
Like the 6th kill there, coming through at the end of the round. Just
steep him in their face, dude. Go for it.
yeah. And so, you know what I love most about that round is genghsta says, hey, I can be good for 2 with the stinger, and he does just that. So he's kind of righting his wrongs, deathless here in this one as well. And Gimond, granted, just being pistol, just being that 2nd round following with SMGs, was very quiet for the entire first half on Haven. So to see him coming alive early in this one, I think that means really good things for this GENG roster.
Yeah, good for them to go ahead and get a hot start. You are going to see them put that cage down, but Sinatraa gut checks it, spams through the link, and is able to find his man on genghsta. In the meantime, GENG, though, are starting to take some space up middle. They got that smoke down towards market. It's going to allow them to clear out pizza and start setting up to either threaten defending spawn or set up a B-split through market. They will have to break the door to do so, and shahzam does have an angle on the market cross, but he will be smoked off, and now he has to play some guesswork.
Actually going to play the smoke here. Not going to find that kill, though. GMD with close quarters again. Going to find himself an upgrade and continue to lead this team in with the kills on top. Sick. Force to the back of the side. Able to find the kill onto Huynh. A beautiful one at that through the smoke. And he's sitting just about full HP. Everything that he bought, he still got to his name. And dapr keeping Sidewalk on lock here.
Yeah, he's using those cages to really great effect to slow things down and buy time for these rotations through the back hall. GENG mop up a couple of players, though, but Sick and Zombs are very quick to respond, leaving Mikhail all by his lonesome. He's got Spike, but he's trapped in the back of the site.
And it's just the Spectre to his name here. You hear that Shrouded Step come through. It's 10 HP, and Zombs has the angle. So Sentinels pick up the first rifle, but it was pretty costly for both teams.
Dude, Sentinels got half their kills through smokes. Like, what happened there? It's unbelievable. Like, the fact that they were just able to, you know, get the initial pick right off the bat from Sinatraa being aggro on Cat, then I think that was, what, Sick that got a kill through the smoke at defending spawn on B side? It's just wild. Like, what they were able to accomplish there, just having that game sense to know where to line up the spams to give yourself your best chance to get something through it. And also, again, dapr just showing you, even if he's not putting kills on the board, he's so good at anchoring sites in the sense of buying time for rotations. Like, the use of the cages were so good there.
I know both Jets having a possibility to get on the board as they are also killless. It is just going to be smoke traded out for the paranoia. shahzam with the wide swing, not going to find too much there. And Sinatraa still holding it down this catwalk, not free as long as this player is here. Finding a kill through the smoke previously. Paranoia going to blind not only him, but his drone. But shahzam has since rotated over to help him out, and he's able to find some kills on top. GENG starting to fall apart. The neural theft Should it amount to much here? He's able to get one, knowing that Sick is playing close. He's got that spike in his hands. A 37 HP here, Dust. This is Boosty. You got to go big if you're going to do it at all. Oh, spots the head. It's the hatless Sentinel here in Cypher. Maybe if he had that hat on, Sick finds that kill. Either way, through the cage, he picks it up, and Sentinels tie us up at 2.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to see this, and I'm not sure how long this has gone on for, but I mean, sinatraa made a name for himself by being a B bomb site defender on this map. He's the one who popularized the Odin spam through the wall, but that's something that's kind of been figured out, and so you have to kind of adjust. You always have to kind of pushing the meta forward and coming up with new ways to be dynamic and keep opponents guessing, or come up with new things that you feel are more effective than that. And he's really done a great job pivoting to kind of playing this catwalk position and really disrupting people from being able to get control of the tree area, also being able to rotate quickly to help cover mid when need be. And he just gets so much like out of those shock darts to get like early damage off on B link, slow mid control down. It's definitely been nice to see him make that pivot.
Yeah, and I mean, a kill plus some extra damage there. Granted, it is going to be the eco coming through from GENG. As Dick has since rotated over towards mid to try and lock this down. I would imagine we see a pretty quick finish to this one as they creep over towards B. Sheriffs, it's stingers, it's kills to be found though. Genghsta on the back end of Sean, able to find that, but again, low HP on a handful of members. Zombs goes to the back of the site. Now, not so quick. GENG feeling like they can take this one, gonna go back to the drawing board, and shahzam will fall. Man. This is absolutely huge here. Only one left playing on A.
Yeah, because Zombs committed the ult to actually reinforce the B side defense, thinking it might be a B split. So yeah, they're basically having to play kind of a retake A setup here, and they're a man down, and Sinatra's very low on health. He does have Hunter's Fury. He could disrupt the spike plan if he so chooses to use it that way, or to clear out angles, and indeed he is going to use it to stop that plan. He's buying a little bit of time for teammates to get in position. He also gets a tag off on one player, even finds the frag, equalizes the man count.
Spike planted. Yeah.
Completely even across the board as players go. Although there is still a Hunter's Fury here for GENG in the post plant. Might be able to find something for themselves as the Owl Drone gonna get some information. dapr gonna follow it up with a kill. Now it's all up to Genghsta. The Hunter's Fury not gonna get too much when you're dead. Sentinels close it out, but it was spooky for a sec.
It was spooky. Like, the problem is Mikhail was never really able to get in a post-plant position where Hunter's Fury was going to have impact. You know, he would never get to use it. And obviously, Sinatraa got a huge amount of impact out of his. He stalled the plant a bit, bought a bit more time for his teammates to position, and then also got a frag to equalize the man count as they came swinging in. So, really well done there. They made the most out of what was a very dicey situation, as GENG were certainly putting a threat on that round despite having low econ. So, you know, both teams getting value out of that one, but Sentinels ultimately getting the victory. So we're going to see both teams with 2 ults to their name coming into this. Economies are quite close, though GENG's a little bit worse for wear. shahzam going to have the operator in play this round. Maybe looking to take a pick out at middle, see if anybody swings on him or not. Looks like the answer to that is going to be no, and now even gets started and forced back.
And full usage out of that recon bolt. Gets 3 full pulses. The third not going to find shahzam, but they know that he's eked away back over towards Pizza, and with that shot, they know the operator's still holding mid, so maybe not the safest place to be. shahzam does have one of those ults that you mentioned, Dust, so should he get into a bit of trouble, could pump those knives out. Is Sick gonna use that, run it back, tries to find some damage over towards top mid. Flash goes out onto the cage, looking to find some more, but shot in the back and sent right back home towards market. dapr has since positioned aggressively, and there's the kill. Huge there from dapr, but traded back immediately.
Yeah, Sick didn't get kills, but he was a free scout to set dapr up into position on catwalk for an aggressive peek up the lane, and he is able to get one, but luckily GENG are able to equalize the trade, which is plays out better for them. And now Genghsta sneaks up and blindsides Sick, who was unaware that someone had made it that deep into defensive territory. Sinatraa, though, quick to get it right back, and so it's still going to be even footing here, though the ults favor GENG, and again, positioning favor them as a 2, but oh, shahzam, right before the paranoia sets in completely, he picks his spot and lands it, and now Sentinels have the edge they've been fighting for all round long.
And Zom's going to be watching the jump up here. Quinn needs to be careful, not going to peek his head out there. Still an operator in the hands of shahzam. Not sure if he wants to trade that one out for a rifle just yet, as that door gets closed, and he does do just that. 2 playing up towards heaven. Sinatraa going to peek. He's going to find the kill, and he was low on armor. but still moving forward here. Now it's all up to Hemond in a 1v3. Picks up the first, able to find the second, needs to find it on the imposter. He's able to do it. GMG on top.
Oh my goodness, Gamon with the clutch that could be proven pivotal to keep his team in it. That was incredible. It seemed like Sentinels had that one in the bag. Shahzam gets a pivotal op shot over here at Tree. It sets up the retake. They got all the frags going their way, but Gamon able to somehow keep finding 1v1 duels here. They didn't really check his corner. They didn't really peek together with their last two players, and Gamon takes advantage of that and delivers. What a beautiful set of frags from him.
And you would almost feel like he's playing Reyna the way that played out. 3 1v1s, and I mean, what a beautiful play. And that's just what GenG need. They need to keep this forward pressure because last time, oh, Sean, Shahzam and Sinatraa, they run into each other and Sean finds the kill because of it. That is detrimental.
It really is. Like, you know, usually when you're a Jet playing an angle like that, the one saving grace that you have is that you're going to be able to dash out of there, but instead of pick goes GenG's way, they're going to get the neural thefts. They're going to get, you know, a good idea on where the positioning is going to be defensively. They're going to use that to capitalize on an attack. Mikhail pitching in, looking for the tree lane with the Hunter's Fury. Will find a pick on the zombs, so now it's going to be a 5-on-3 post plan for GenG.
And a huge pick at that, forcing the next two to rotate on over, so they know everybody coming from this defender-sided spawn. Stinger in hand, gonna send that run it back from whence it came. Is Swin gonna sit down sick, and now it's down to the last two here. Everybody playing just off this side a little bit. You've got a weird angle by Kusta. You've got another playing that crossfire out towards tree room, and it's gonna force Sentinels back to the spawn to save.
Yeah. GenG just starting to pick up steam here. Big clutch from Gamon seems to provide the fuel they need to start a fire here on Descent, as they had a dominant victory here now, and so that's going to put them at 4-3. As you said, Sentinels just forced to retreat and save weapons, but dapr might not even get the chance. Oh. That might have been on purpose, actually. Wanted the cash reward instead. Sinatraa obviously saving the operator was really key, and yeah, that makes sense.
Can't fault him for that.
It's so, I'm still like, and I mean, this is my own fault, but I'm still kind of learning when exactly you want to die and when exactly you want to fully save. Obviously, the operator, you want to save that, right? It's a lot of money. But sometimes you have to kind of do some quick math to think, okay, am I better off saving a weapon that's worth, you know, like 2,700 credits, or am I better off building up my money bonus? And so it's a little bit of give and take on figuring out what's the best option.
And either way, it's an eco to come on through. We saw dapr pick up that frenzy. Fingers in the hands, and that one hero operator all behind it. So we'll see if Shahzam can get things going for this Sentinels roster. And before that last round kind of kicked off, basically what I was saying for GenG is they need to find these rounds, because last time they were on Ascent earlier today, 7 rounds wasn't enough on the attacking side to pick up a victory, because they only got 1 on defense. So the more you net here, obviously, the better you put yourself. But, I mean, that means so much more for this GenG roster.
Yeah, GenG just, again, going back to the tried and true, just kind of slowly getting some mid-control, keeping their tabs on the periphery of the map, making sure they're not getting pushed out, making sure that no aggression from Sentinels can unfold. As they just start putting that pressure towards Tree. Perhaps they're even going to start putting some pressure towards Pizza here soon. Aggressive angle, though, being held by Shahzam inside B lobby could prove to be a real thorn in the side of GenG, or it could prove to be Sentinel's downfall, and it's going to open up a big gap for GenG to come sliding through. But instead, they decide to take the fight up Cat. Then it's an equal trade to kick things off. Shahzam decides he needs to back off here. That's going to give them some room to go ahead and start splitting B, as they do have control of market on the GenG side.
If the dash up top, Shahzam sits him down. The blades no more here for GenG as they look to push onto the site. Sean trades it back. The spike, though, needs to get down. Only 10 seconds on the clock, as they will do just that. Mikhail gonna get it down in a 3v2 Sentinels. It was an eco round. I'm not too sure they were able to upgrade too much. It was sick to find a rifle, but he is no longer alive. So it is stingers here for these two in the retake. And I think you just send it once more. I can't imagine we see another save here.
No, of course not. You definitely want the money over saving the stinger. So they're definitely going to try to see if they can commit here and get something going. They're going to throw the recon down. They do get the location of one player here in the corner. Sinatraa even able to pick up a Vandal. So he's putting that threat on. Paranoia comes in. Sinatraa used it to his advantage to come in, and now they collapse on the opposition, leaving Gamon all alone. Is he good for yet another clutch? He's stuck here in the back of the site. Both players with good health. The clock is ticking. Sinatraa needs to find this man quickly, and he's not going to do it. Gamon again there to get the kills and there to give them a little bit of something extra to taste on their way out the rounds, as we are going to see GENG jump up to a 5-3 lead, and they are looking on cruise control.
Gamon there, another 3K, the cherries on top there at the end as well. And like I said, the Haven, it wasn't very comfortable at the beginning, but now you see him creeping up towards the leaderboard. And again, I've said it before, but kills don't mean everything, but look at what GMD has been able to do. It's been clutch situations where 6 kills have not only propelled him to the top of the leaderboard, but also propelled his team to this 2-round lead. So to be able to be coming in, firing on all cylinders, absolutely huge. Unfortunately, shahzam feeling a bit hotter than when here in this one on Ascent, as he finds yet another kill here to start things off.
Yeah, good opening pick there for Sentinels. That's going to go ahead and give them that advantage if they have been kind of lacking through a lot of this most recent rounds played. GENG trying to put the pressure on through Catwalk. A little bit of a one-way smoke gets dropped down, though, for Sinatraa to clear the angle. They also shut down the drone from really making any progress and getting any real intel for GENG to play off of. They do have some mid-control with Gamon's positioning here, but again, they can't really crack open trees due to these jet smokes constantly being there, and Sinatraa and shahzam have a pretty nice little bait and switch, and I think Sinatraa actually caught a piece of a player there. Gets some shots off, but no damage. Sean will eventually get tree control, but he's been found out by the recon. Sinatraa will swing with that, finds one. Mikhail quick the trade, but that's fine. Sentinels are already a man ahead. Now it all comes down to Gamon's flank through defending spawn.
Yep, there was also an awkward paranoia from Gamon. Having that flank meant it came from that pizza mid area. Unfortunately, didn't amount to much, but he's got himself cemented here in the defender side of spawn, but he's actually about to be run into by shahzam. He's gonna get shot in the back, and all the opportunities now out the window as the flash finds the spike. It's all down to genghsta and Sick to close it out.
Yeah, Gamon was maybe on to something there if he could have been able to sneak in behind B-back halls, but that rotation from shahzam was able to pick up on it before Gamon could blow anything up there, and Sentinels just were a step ahead that whole round, just getting that opening pick from shahzam, shutting down the tree attack from GENG, and then eventually sniffing out Gamon's attempt at backstabbing. Sentinels also now have 4 ults in play. Meanwhile, I mean, there's not many ults there except for Gamon's, and it's going to take a bit to build up anymore, except for Mikhail. Mikhail's not too far off from having Hunter's Fury for a post plant.
A nice shock dart there. It's only going to back bombs away, but maybe a lineup that you need to put in your back pocket from Mikhail to get some damage to try and force him back from that A main position. Spike, again, back towards the spawn, hanging out towards that catwalk area. Mid-control, the name of the game here on Ascent, and GENG just go right back to it, and a whole lot slower once more.
Yeah, they're looking to, again, try to drone and actually go into middle, which is a gap. There was kind of a big stack here from Sentinels over towards the A side. They're starting to rotate Sinatraa now through the back halls towards defending spawn, and he is actually going to spot a player there over towards middle. So they kind of know what's going on here, but now GENG looking to pounce up towards tree. Paranoia comes in first to clear the first side, but a counter paranoia is a bit better, and now Sick will jump with the run it back. He is caught, however. That's okay, because the kills are still favoring Sentinels at this point. They've won the trades. They have a 3-on-2.
It was awkward just being corralled there in that tree room, but like you said, Sentinels come out on top. Now it's all down to genghsta again. He's gonna get shot in the back. It's dapr to kill the imposter, and Sentinels to tie us up at 5.
Yeah, they're gonna go ahead and get the spike diffused. Again, they still have a lot of ults available. They still have the neural theft. They still have the blade storm. Looks like zombs is not too far off from the shadows either. But now GENG have very little to work with, which is like a twofold problem. A, it means that they have a very low chance to win this round. And B, they have a very low chance of finding ways to build up their ults for the final round of the half. But they're going to have to rely on like getting an orb on Mikhail somehow to make sure they get Hunter's Fury for later. And then someone's gonna have to like multi-frag out to get the orbs that they need to have ults available.
I hate to lean back on this, but now GENG can only be good for 7, which again has not proved to be enough. Although a different team, Sentinels, a different beast in their own right, especially on that attacking side. As the dash onto the A site, Wim's made it here uncontested for the most part, and he's getting a whole lot of info here in those footsteps, but Sentinels just mowing them down in the thrifty round. Not gonna go the way of GENG, as it's a near flawless for Sentinel.
Yeah, at the very least, they were able to build up a couple of ults. They have to run it back now for Sean. They are going to have the Hunter's Fury available for Mikhail, so at least they were able to gain that. That gives them a couple more tools to put to use here in the final round. They have to try to equalize the score at 6 apiece, but, I mean, Sentinels, again, such a dangerous defensive team on Ascent. They've been a bit back and forth results-wise overall lately, but, again, they're just such a skilled team that they can always have the chance to pop off and disrupt your strats, and they have certainly done that here very recently.
You want to inch out as much as you can here. 6-6 would obviously be ideal as that operator for Shahzam. Going to push up aggressively, but be backed away by that cyber cage. Genghsta been kind of quiet. He hasn't been able to play that sneaky sentinel that we once saw earlier in not only this game, but in that Haven map as well. Sinatraa looks to play hand in hand with Sick over towards the tree room again. It's a slow push up towards A main with the spike in hand. So GENG looking to commit here.
And they're looking to try to do like a little bit of a push onto A lobby, but Zomski's putting that one-way smoke down on the corner, but they used the drone to push him back, and now they will have the Hunter's Fury in play to perhaps find a kill, or at least gain their team some ground. They can comfortably now sweep into the site. Sean using the run it back for an entry onto Zombs. Low HP, however, is going to be Hwin, and Sinatraa will sniff him out. And so now it's a very tense 4-on-4 as the spike has still yet to make way into sight and plant. But Genghsta, amazing kill the cop rotation, and now gets the neural theft in play.
Sentinels completely compromised after that one. I spoke about Genghsta not necessarily playing the awkward angles, but he does it here. Now it's all up to dapr, who cannot stop worrying about Genghsta as he creeps up through the tree room. A 1v4. GENG are looking to go even at the half, and they do just that. It's reminiscent of Assault, and they're creeping over towards the A site.
Yeah, Sentinels wasting no time getting into A lobby. They love fighting for orbs on both sides of the map, sometimes simultaneously. Like, that is one trademark of Sentinels on this map, is just really wanting to fight for those orbs quickly. They make it a priority, and they already snagged the A orb, obviously, here coming into this. Sinatraa trying to be tip of the sword used to try to cut open this A site. Does get the player spotted in the back, but Gamal's actually the first one to draw blood.
And that was from downtown. That classic picks up the kill top mid over towards Catwalk. Sentinels now the last 4 corralled towards this A main area, but a smoke gonna stop them from pushing on. Genghsta has since repositioned. The last time they saw him, he was playing back towards that generator, now playing a close angle and Sick maybe sniffing it out, which is something that Sentinels do so incredibly well. They understand the rotations here from players, from spot to spot, from place to place. And I think once we creep a little bit closer towards the end of this round, we see that there it is. The bolt actually coming on through the dash onto the side. Genghsta not going to get it. It's Sean instead. Genghsta goes good for 1, but they're all mowed down. The stalwart defense from GENG.
Yeah, GENG had such an effective crossfire there on A main, and the smoke that went towards door didn't really phase it at all because he could just kind of push past it and play in the corner. And then Genghsta was well set up with the cam aside the boxes, so just kind of ran them through a difficult crossfire. Shahzam obviously kind of dashing through to try to create some space and draw some attention to allow the follow-up to come into play, but GENG were just really efficient to win out those duels and put themselves 1 round ahead. They will, of course, be buying up. Obviously, no force from Sentinels. They didn't get a plant or anything that would encourage them to buy early, so should be a standard follow-up round for GENG.
A couple of cheeky frenzies, but I don't think you can really expect a whole lot here. At the very least, it's going to try and take a bite out of that economy and make sure that this round number 3 isn't going to be a whole lot of a bonus round. Is Swin actually opting into a Vandal round 2, so maybe a bit aggressive, a bit BM on it, but he does find quite a bit of damage onto Shahzam. The spike, though, it's crept up towards A. So at the very least, Sentinels are going to grab themselves some extra credits should they get this plan.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's kind of best case scenario. And they have a way to maybe cut off rotation at middle here. Sean comes through. He could get caught by dapr, and that would give a stinger over. But no, Sean will sniff that out. No problemo. He's not going to be looking to maybe even go for a flank to open up another route for the retake, because for Sentinels are in quite a bind here. Sean does pick up Sinatraa. So yeah, I mean, this round's going to go Genji's way. I mean, it's really going to take crazy Herculean effort for Sentinels to somehow hold this off now.
Yeah, all down to one. It is a frenzy in the hands of Sick, but it's not better than the Spectre here in this one. A flawless way to close it out. Now things get a bit more even. We go to the rifles, quite possibly the bonus, and Genji. I'm interested to see how they pull it off.
They're going to go ahead and let Sean defuse to try to build up his run it back, which he indeed will now have. Sentinels will be able to come into this, as you say, with the full buy. And again, they are a much scrappier team than Genji. They're going to pick up the pace a lot more. They're a lot more prone to kind of like a pounce on the lobby areas with heavy numbers to, again, get orbs, look for early fights, look for early intel, create some fast pressure to, you know, cause early rotations. And they're also going to like just attack set pieces faster. Like, they're going to be a little bit more decisive on wanting to just go ahead and poke and prod. Normally they're going to do like 3-man A lobby pressures while simultaneously using 2 players to take B lobby, and they're going to try to get both orbs at the same time. That's the way they like to open rounds, and it seems like this is, you know, no difference from the norm.
Tried and true. They're sticking to it, able to grab that one, and it's going to go to Sinatraa to try and queue up that Hunter's Fury, who actually does have it now. So look to clear things out. It's so hard to assume what he's going to do with that Hunter's Fury, because he just uses it willy-nilly.
Yeah, I mean, like, the only real constant for Sentinels on this map is they're usually going to have dapr being that B lurk with, you know, the Cypher, but everything else is going to be very flexible, particularly Sinatraa. Again, he's that X-Factor player. He can obviously move all competitive areas to use his drone or recon bolt to gain information and help set up, you know, Shazam and company to take map control or to help take it himself. Sick is generally more of a passive force on defaults, like just looking to the hold, but once they need him, he can definitely strike well and be an entry player for sure. He's definitely got the aim and the kit with Phoenix to really get those opening spaces. So he's going to try to poke and prod at Shriek. He's going to get both of them. Oh my goodness.
And 31 HP on the way out. Should be able to heal up. No, Sean going to sit him down now, looking to go on the flank, but we've got one watching it. Was that run it back used? And Sinatraa not going to get spotted out as he lags behind just a bit, but time is running out. Zom's going to sit Kusa down. Mikhail trying to do his best. That's the spike on the ground. They just have to buy more time, and they're doing just that. It's a 1v1, but Sinatraa through the wall shuts it down.
That round got a lot more scary than I thought it was going to be. When Sick gets both those kills at Tree, I'm thinking Sentinels are about to, you know, skate on to victory, but it actually got to be a lot tighter than that. Sinatraa actually had to come up with kind of a little bit of a clutch there at the end. It was pretty rapid, though. Very chaotic round, but I mean, that is just Sentinels in a nutshell on the attacking side. They thrive in those types of situations. They kind of play towards it because they know that they have, you know, the players to thrive in aggression. So they are going to come up with that one, though they are a bit worse to wear on firepower this round. This is kind of a 2-for-1 deal for either team, by the way. Both economies are very, very low. So this is either Sentinels maybe taking a 9-8 lead or Genji just holding Sentinels off and reaching double digits first.
All crept up over towards B-main. This shock dart could get a whole lot of value. Run it back to come on through. Sick looking to open things up on this site. Is going to make his way through a cyber cage in order to try and do so. He's not going to find the kills this time around, but dapr trades it right back. They play off of it perfectly, and Mikhail only goes good for one. The B site has since been opened up once more, and Sentinels look to lock it down here. The spike will be planted, and a 3v2 retake, but you talked about the economy, Dust. Can we see a save here?
You could. I mean, they do have higher end rifles, including an operator on Hwin. So yeah, I definitely think that's very possible. Unless they can find like a really early pick here that encourages them to go for it, I think retreating back and saving the weapons is definitely the way to go. And that's about as standard as the B hit as you're ever going to see. Smokes on spawn and market, fly in with the ult, get things done. But actually, hold the phone. Genji are actually trying to come in here and get things done, but it doesn't seem very fruitful. I mean, they're getting kills, but they're always one step behind. Gimal now trying to come in and isolate a 1v1 at the back of the site. But now time is running low. And I mean, again, I'm not a master of understanding this economy system with the changes to like the $1,000 or whatever, but I do feel like saving 3 weapons would have made sense there. That would have gave him something to play with in this next round.
I agree, especially the way that this series has been going. Having a couple of rifles, having 3 and an operator at the very least could be enough to pick up one of these.
I mean, listen,
rounds on
I'm more
defense.
than willing to admit that I'm wrong, and I would love someone to, like, if they want to shoot me a message or something to explain
For
why that
sure.
isn't the case, but I feel like saving 2 rifles and an operator instead of going for it would have made a lot more sense. That's just my gut reaction. And now, look, they have to work with frenzies and a couple of stingers, and now Sentinels will likely take the lead here, as once again, they're building up that ult for Sick as quick as they can.
And that seems to be, whether it be kills or just setting things up, right? It was 2 kills early up towards Catwalk from Sick, and then the next one he used that run it back, and he didn't get a whole lot, but dapr was able to trade off of the ultimate, so just very, very fruitful, and it's exactly why you see them use so many resources to make sure that Sick can get those ult orbs and try and stack things up. Now, it's a classic, a frenzy, and a stinger. They walk into A main, and that is a joke that I don't have a punchline to just yet, but we'll see if GenG's got the punchline. Couple of kills gonna come through. There's the pistol showing up here. 2 for 2 they go. Sean able to sneak away and heal on up. He's still got a stinger to his name as well, so
Yeah, he's
Tenz
also
not out yet.
only 1 kill away from a run it back as well, so that could really just leverage it fully in GenG's side if he's able to get 1 more, but no, dapr able to sniff Sean out there with the Phantom, so that is going to lead it back over to Sentinel's side. They do have, you know, control of A lobby. There is smokes in play, though, for GenG to smoke this arch off and force him to have to spam through. But it still looks favorable for Sentinels.
As the cam gonna go through, not gonna find the tag. Lots of damage traded back and forth. GMD still alive, but the only one at that, as he tries to spray through the smoke, is gonna push to the back of the generator, able to find another. And this is Shahzam playing off site, low HP here, able to find the kill, but he does not have the time. This is coming down to the wire here, but the spike is looking to blow, and Sentinels will grab a lead.
You can see what Sentinels were trying to do. They're just trying to throw bodies in there to just keep disrupting. They just keep killing the clock and basically went off the timer. And it came down to a razor's edge, man. Like they almost gave GenG a chance. That was such a threatening round considering what little GenG had at their disposal. It's making things a little bit more stressful for Sentinels. They're not getting those easy wins. You come into this next round, both teams fully bought out. Both teams' economies are fragile. Both teams are sitting on 4 ults. So this is a big one, and you have to imagine Sentinels are not going to really change the pace. They're going to keep the pedal to the metal. They're looking to, again, aggro in here, try to build up 6, run it back. He's 2 orbs away, while still maintaining that presence outside you with dapr, as you would expect. Again, that's kind of his home zone. He's always going to be playing there, keeping tabs, getting intel, watching for pushes, and now sinatraa will start getting that mid information.
It's so wild to me that GenG are just so okay with giving up that altar. They don't challenge it at all.
It's so hard to do defensively, man. I can't really blame them. You have to set up a play for it, like a paranoia through the wall, push in, or, you know, put a one-way smoke on the corner and just play the forward angle. It's really hard to challenge that orb. It's basically built for attackers to take.
Seems to be working out. Sentinels multiple times able to get Sick up closer to that ultimate, where just about everybody's ult gonna be online for both of these teams. Only missing the run it back for Sick. Only missing that Hunter's Fury from
Yeah,
the Kale.
this is going to be a potent attack, you have to imagine.
30 seconds left.
Revealing area.
Smokes down on the door. They're going to start coming in as well. Alt to get in information on A Heaven. Spots the Opera in the corner.
Oh, and a beautiful flash. Quinn dashes, but not to safety. He goes onto the site, and he will fall. There's the neural theft used as well, so the rest of the team for GenG compromised as they look to rotate over towards this site, and Shahzam has himself a nice angle, and dapr has himself a nice shot onto GMD. Shahzam will pick it up from that angle, and it's all starting to crumble as Sentinels look to find themselves double digits.
Indeed, that's just the perfect use of the from the shadows to get the immediate information on Wynn's location, trying to hold from a little bit more of an off angle on the double stack box. It's a little bit less common than, you know, playing from the opposite side or playing off site entirely. And so with that, they were able to swing on him, force him into awkward spaces. Dash didn't really get him to safety, as you said. It allowed the entry to come in, and at that point, Sentinels have full control. Neural Theft certainly a big piece as well to make sure they had perfect information to hold off the retake. They had Shazam in a great position at Catwalk to cut off that route and backstab through tree if it was ever required, which it wound up not needing to be, as dapr was the one putting up kills down over through the doorway to tree. So really well done there from Sentinels. They still have 3 ults to spare as well. They still have the run it back for sick that they were able to build. So they are still looking real feisty right now. But again, no ults expended that time around from GENG. They have their own run it back in play. They have their own huge pieces of utility to put into play, but they're running out of time to do it. And again, this match is pivotal. It's map 3. There's no safety net left. Loser out of the tournament will be forced to play through the open qualifiers to try to get the challengers 2. Winner gets to keep on the path towards a top 4 here at challengers 1 to guarantee that spot in the next challengers event, to guarantee that next step towards masters. For Sentinels, it would completely go against all expectations for the type of team that they've built themselves up to be over these last 3 to 6 months in particular. Always in the top spots, always finding themselves in deep runs. And for GENG, it would be proof that they are still a contender despite the changes they've had to make along the way here recently. Sentinels find themselves in the driver's seat. Can they cross the finish line?
And this is very reminiscent of Haven, where Sentinels, they grab a lead and then they just start to close it out. There were a couple of hiccups, but eventually they were able to get it done. Now, GENG, like you said, on the back foot as those knives come through. Shazam to kick things off. The tactical pause does nothing but put Sentinels even further in the driver's seat. They're buckled in everything as Sick will find another and they'll run it back. So he is nice and healthy, and it's a 5v3 here. Sinatraa gets some info, and it's all downhill from here.
It really is. Sick's ult was almost spent before he got there and found Win, who also had his own out in play. That is just, oh man, that one really stings. If you're GENG, Sentinels still have Hunter's Fury and their own Blade Storm to put to use. It looks like they are looking to split to B. They're going to have Sick lurking up through middle towards that market side. There is a cam still just out there above B lobby. Has not been taken out yet. The one-way cage here from genghsta is slowing down the attack just for now. Cam finally is going to be taken out here, as it is going to detect dapr's presence in the B lobby. Sentinels looking to quickly pivot with low time, but they're going to find an empty A bomb site. They have forced the rotation. They've created enough pressure to open up this A site for the taking.
And just not a great spot to be here. 3v5 on the retake. You have to find so much on the way into this one. And you see the off angles. 3 anchored onto the site, 1 out towards Catwalk, and Sick holding it down in mid. Is Mikhail going to creep up towards heaven? The glass not broken just yet as that smoke comes on through. 2 playing up in this area. Shazam with the operator, able to hold it down. And now that's not the best plan. It's not a plan for A main, so it would be a defended defuse should they be able to get that far, but it just doesn't look like it. GENG are running out of time, and they're just going to run right into the fray, and Shazam and Sinatraa are going to sit them down. genghsta all the way across the map looking to save here as Sentinels go to 11.
Yeah, Sentinels are knocking on the door of the next stage of this bracket. Just a couple away from moving on, sending GENG out of it. GENG still have 4 ults in play. They have the full buy. They have Win with the operator. He's had a very quiet game, though. I feel like he's been pivotal on some of the other games we've seen today, but here, it seems like he's really struggling to get firing. This would be big for him to assert himself in a round like this where so much is on the line. Again, they have a lot of ults they can put into play when needed, including the run it back, which could be used for a retake or an aggressive push. They have the Hunter's Fury to try to stall out a plant or help out a retake. Obviously, the Neural Theft, we know its abilities. As Wen's looking to take this forward angle at B lobby, but no one from Sentinels has really played that too assertively. Throughout the bulk of this hat, they've been way more focused on pressuring A lobby and tree.
Thinking maybe we see an operator challenge up towards that orb, which it's actually a lot slower of a push. So Sentinels quite possibly expecting that same play, as now they will go for it, and Sick kind of far from that ultimate, as GMD is going to get that info using the From the Shadows. No,
I feel like that's not that much, though.
Yeah.
I mean, they do that every round. So it's more about how many numbers are there. Are they about to pounce A? Or are they just looking for orb? And now he got his answer. They're looking for orb. That means they're going to hold their B defense in place. But, I mean, Quinn needs to hit the shot, and he does. And he's able to dash away and get out and smoke his way into coverage of the back of the site. That's exactly what he wanted. That's exactly how he designed it. And that is big news for Gen G. But they need more. That's a good starting point. But they need to
30
finish.
seconds left.
they stack up here towards that B site, go drone for drone, and they force everybody away. Now the Hunter's Furies are going to be traded out. Mikhail trying to escape, but Sinatraa comes out on top, and the numbers have since been evened. Now the Blaze Wall up towards Sidewalk. Good and sure. A nice push on the flash. Not going to find Win. He's able to find another kill now. Starting to come online as he finds a third. Genji not out just yet, but the spike has since been planted. That's a 3v2. They're running back from Sean. Going to go on through. He's able to find that kill onto one. Looking to mow him down, and they do just that. The duelist for Genji. Keep him alive.
What a beautiful round from Win. We talked about it just before the round started, how he has not really been able to assert himself on the server in this particular map, but boy, does he come up huge that round. Again, Sentinels were forced to play the clock down to the wire, and when that happens, if one little thing goes wrong, you are absolutely screwed. And that one little problem was when with an operator sitting in the back popping off 3 kills and opening up the door for Sean to come in with the run it back to close things down. Yes, the spike got planted. That gives some extra economy to Sentinels, and they still do manage a 2-round lead. But now most of their ults have been spent other than the Bladestorm of Shahzam. And they're not really close to building too many of them just yet. Meanwhile, Kusa still has a neural theft available.
Love the ambient sounds where everybody's playing a bit slower. You hear the sprays through the smoke. Now we get a drone out towards A main. Once more, expected for Sentinels to at least be playing a few up here, but this time, it's not just Shahzam and 6. Sinatraa right behind him. All 3 smokes expended as they dash onto the site. Shahzam trying to get aggressive. He's actually going to get caught out. Sean to find the first. Trying to stack up that run it back once more. And through the smoke, he finds... No, it's actually sick on Kusta.
Yep, neural theft gone.
Recon, and yeah, neural theft now off the table. A 4v4 retake. You have 0 information, and the spike's been planted.
Indeed it has, and they have a couple of players positioned on site and off site, so they have their players spread out. They're not bottlenecked one direction, really. And again, there's no ults in play to clear angles. It's all going to be about common abilities and angles and aim duels.
Oh, beautiful flash there. Been able to dash away. John, unfortunately, not going to win that fight. Sinatraa picks up another. Everybody gets closed out there. A beautiful hold on A as Sentinels, not only to match point, but to series point here.
Yeah, just a good job there by Shahzam to just be the sacrificial lamb, so to speak, putting all the smokes down, dashing in, eating a tripwire, building some space for Sick and company to come in as the follow-up to trade their way through, and they got some really key kills, including taking down Kusta, who was the one ult that Genji would have to try to recover the round. And so to get him off the board first basically limited Genji's options for the retake. They didn't really have any positioning or any real tools to put to use that would give them the edge they needed. And so now Sentinels are just 1 round away from moving on. And Genji 1 step away from going back to the drawing board here and having to go through the open qualifier system once more for Challengers 2. Sinatraa clearing so much there with that drone.
And finding that info on the back of the site. B, unbeknownst to them, completely open as Mikhail was forced away. It's going to take 3 rounds in a row from Genji, and that is the total amount of rounds that they have. There it is. They try to play to stop the orb to coming on through, but Sick not only finds the kill, so he gets a pip up for that, he also nets himself the orb as they back away. Genji in a 4v5 and neural theft again off the board.
Yeah, that's tough. The neural theft off the board, and also their rotations are now really stressed because if they could have gotten control of A lobby, it would have freed them up to put more emphasis towards B in middle. It would have given them maybe even a backstab option to flank in behind Sentinels when they committed to mid or B. But now all that's off the board. Now they have to defend with far less resources, and Sick and company already getting some deep territory into this B fight. It comes down to the anchor. It comes down to the Omen and the Sova. Can they hold?
30 seconds on the clock. Sentinels running it down to the wire once more. Zombs can find first. GMD trades it back. Almost good for another, but the classic in the hands of Sick is just too strong. Now the life on the line here. It's Sean in a 1v4. The flash goes through. Sinatraa is blind, but it doesn't matter. They will send GENG back to the round of 128 as they close out the series.
Yeah, Sentinels, it seemed like in both the maps that they won here, they were able to, when the pressure was on, come in clutch in the late rounds, the long yards, the ones you need the most. They were able to keep their composure a bit better. They were able to make the key adjustments or just come up with the big individual plays. Like Sick picking up on that A push, obviously, in that last round was pivotal. It really stressed the rotations of GENG. Sick being able to create some space up the catwalk. The round before that, it was shahzam dashing through, sacrificing himself, no fear, building up space for his teammates to follow through that he had confidence in that could trade. Sentinels, again, they just have a lot of very skilled players, and either one of them can pop off, and either one of them is willing to sacrifice to set up the others. Very selfless in that regard. That's why they've been successful for so long, as they have a good mixture of talent, playmaking, and support and trust.